Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. Thursday morning, the Raptors are going to be playing in the Naismith Cup today. That's right, Grizzlies versus Raptors here in Canada. That's the Naismith Cup. I don't care what anybody says. People say, oh, they're not in Vancouver anymore. They're in Memphis. Well, that was the intended matchup between the Grizzlies and the Raptors was the Naismith Cup. James Naismith had his birthday recently. The inventor of basketball, a great Canadian who invented the game at a YWCA, putting a peach basket somewhere and put the ball in there. And then, whoa, they figured out, cut the bottom out so it'll fall through. So this is where basketball comes full circle. The very beginning origins come to this game, the future of the basketball in the NBA with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies coming here to Toronto to play us at Scotiabank Arena tonight. Let's go Raptors, baby. Yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments first thing, and then I'll get right to what we do on a preview day, which is give you the lineup updates, give you the referee crew check, and give you that real mascot matchup and let you know what is up for game day, previewing the game tonight here in Toronto. All right, let's see. Monique, superfan Monique Lawrence is first in first. Write in that first if you want to and say first. Good morning, everyone, and happy game day. Just some updates from yesterday. Dalano Banton back with the 905 tonight. Precious interview is very telling. I'm very excited. How about you? And Booker is injured. All right. Monique coming in with some of the news of the day already. Listen, there's a very interesting divert of who's going where and what tonight because the 905 are playing tonight as well at the same time as the Raptors main roster. And well, they sent two of the guys to 905 and two of the guys are sticking with the main roster. And it's kind of interesting who is going where. To the 905. That's right, Monique. Dalano Banton will be playing in the Raptors 905 game tonight and will not be available for the Raptors game against the Memphis Grizzlies. And so will Ron Harper Jr. The two of those guys are at the 905 game. Meanwhile, Jeff Doughton Jr. and Justin Champagnie are with the main roster and will be available to play against Memphis at Scotiabank. And that is really because Fred VanVleet is questionable tonight, y'all. So we may need Jeff Doughton to be that backup point guard tonight because Malachi is probably starting if they're going to start a small guard, and Jeff Doughton Jr. will be the backup guard. It is looking like our injury report, as soon as it starts getting better, boom, they start adding names to it. And we do have an injury report this morning. Precious Achiuwa is questionable for tonight's game. Christian Koloko is questionable for tonight's game, and Fred VanVleet is questionable for tonight's game. Now, this is interesting because Achiuwa has the same status to play in tonight's game as Christian and Fred VanVleet. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. Christian and Fred are on the injury list this morning, and they're both questionable along with Precious. And Otto, once again, is just out. So there's your Raptors injury report for tonight, basically. Ron Harper Jr. and Dalano Banton are with the Raptors 905. That Champagnie and Doughton Jr. are going to be with the regular Raptors. And then we're going to be having a questionable on Achiuwa, Koloko, and VanVleet for tonight. On the other side of the ball, the only injury that I see is our friend Danny Green. That all the other Memphis Grizzlies are healthy right now, and Danny Green is still out. I don't think he's actually played for them this season yet. So Danny Green is out, baby. And that's kind of in weird context, juxtapositioned by the last game we played with our champion heroes coming back and playing in front of us, Kawhi and Norman. Well, Danny's not going to be playing tonight for the Grizzlies against us. So there's your injury report right off the bat. And yeah, I don't like it. Well, let's speculate a little bit about who the Raptors will start tonight instead. Will they go small and say, okay, Malachi, you get to start and just keep them there? Or will they get a 6'9" vision lineup for tonight out there? I think it's safe to say the guys who have been starting will continue to start, and that Fred will be the one who has to be replaced. Well, who is it? Malachi, Gary Trent? Is it going to be somebody like, maybe they start won't be Chris Boucher. We have some stuff to talk about him right now. And then who could it be? Who could it be? Who would start in the place of Fred tonight? That'll be an interesting one. Probably most likely it'll be Malachi. I would think that because he's been playing well and he's been getting rotation minutes lately, that he might just step into that spot and then it just moves up, next man up. And that means Jeff Doughton will be taking the Malachi rotation minutes for tonight. So we'll have to see. It's very interesting and good. I like that Justin's up with the team also and available for tonight. This is the kind of game that's built for Justin Champagny. Scrappy young team like Memphis, we could get Justin in there and mix it up with them to get those offensive rebounds and do the things that he does well. That may really help us tonight. So we'll have to see. Let's see what else. Monique said a lot in her first statement. I want to make sure I cover everything that she's saying here. The Precious interview was very interesting yesterday. He was naming books that he has read in his time while he's been injured. He's read 3 books and he's on his 4th book already. And unlike OG, he could remember which books he read, and he was telling us about. He's like How to Win Friends and Curry Favor, Carry Water, Chop Wood. Some of these books are probably books that were suggested to him by people like Earl Watson and Rico Hines. I know that those guys have been quoting Carry Water, Chop Wood, or some Chop Wood, Carry Water themselves on their Instagram. So I think they're the culprits. Turning on Precious with his book list. You say, oh, Precious, you want to get motivated? Read these books. Here you go. And bam. And then also, yeah, this is really big news about the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker will be out for a while. In fact, Michael Grange is speculating that Devin Booker may be out for both games we play against them this season, not just the one on Friday, but the time we come around to Phoenix by the end of January, he may not be back by then either. Now, this is very interesting. Phoenix has lost a couple games in a row, including a game last night to the Washington Wizards. So, this is once again one of those things in your schedule where you may get a little luck catching a team when they're a little bit less powered, a little undermanned. And yeah, this may be the case with Phoenix on Friday. Devin Booker out for an extended period of time starting this week. So yeah, that's catching a break, I guess, in a way. Also, Monique is saying Fred versus Morant, but let's be real. Hope here everyone's locked in. Well, I don't think that Fred's going to play tonight, Monique. So we're not going to see Fred VanVleet versus John Morant. It's going to be Eric. It's going to be Eric Flynn's son, Malachi Flynn against John Morant, or I don't know. Maybe they put Gary in the starting lineup and have him chase him around a little bit. But yeah, I have very, very don't think that Fred's going to be playing tonight. I really don't think he will, Monique. Let's see. Let's be real here. Hope everyone is locked in. A team total effort. Ja is dangerous at the rim, etc. Please, let's fix our third quarter woes. Major issue. It's ugly. Let's get it done. Yeah, I mean, I love to see all that, what you're saying. Ja is very dangerous, and this is the full-powered, Grizzlies team. But let me talk about them for a second. On Christmas Day, they played the Warriors. There was a lot of shit talk for the last 6 months. In fact, Ja Morant wanted to play the Golden State Warriors on Christmas. He asked for it. Well, you asked for it. You got what you got, and that was the Warriors kind of being helped by the refs, but also kicking y'all's ass and talking shit and making y'all humbled. Well, and since y'all lost the next game this week, so in a way, the Grizzlies are in a weird place right now. They've lost a couple games, and they are probably wanting to get out of it, but maybe they're searching their feelings. Maybe they have been a little humbled. Maybe we can continue their losing streak tonight. And that's what I'm hoping for. But it's very interesting, that whole thing that they played on Christmas, and they haven't gotten it back together since then. They lost their game after that since. So yeah, let's continue them on their losing is what I'm saying. Tom Duke is here. Good morning from the West Coast. Tom Duke is in the house. Good day, my awesome freak family. Let's go Raptors. Bring out the bear spray. Ooh, the bear spray. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, Tom. That may come into a factor later on in the show. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see what happens later on the real mascot matchup. All right, Logical Raptors fanatic is here. Mike, salute the real ones. Project Truth always. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Every morning we have to rededicate ourselves to Project Truth, talking about the Raptors. Naco the Nacho, good morning to you, funny man. Yes, I'm going to the game tonight. Shout out to the Papa the Nacho, my dad, for the ticket. You go, Naco the Nacho and Naco's dad, and you go down there and get loud. And please, Naco, I'm pleading with you. Please do the defense chant. Every single time the Grizzlies are touching the ball. Dylan Brooks has the ball. John Morant has the ball. JJJ has the ball. Any of them have the ball. Just defense, defense, and be that crowd leader. If the other people around you aren't doing it yet, you start it. You be that spark to that fire, Nako, and you get it going. We need your support in the building to be loud and get those Raptors energized by the crowd's voice saying defense over and over again. I'm telling you, we can get them encouragement and get them that little extra oomph to get right into them with the defense, the way the Nick wants them. And then also we can stymie and mess up the other team by making it more pressurized in the building by yelling that defense so loud and when they have the ball. So please, Nako and Papa Nako, go in there with your voices loud and strong. Yes, sir. Tom Duke is saying, sweet, Nako, let's go. Precious is getting our defense consistency back tonight. Well, Tom, there's no guarantee Precious is back tonight. I will say he's going to be probably back tomorrow. I don't know if he'll be back tonight. I'm still trying to figure this out. It's still not totally clear. A lot of people are saying, we can't totally think that Precious is going to solve every problem we're having right now. That, in some ways, it's not very realistic to hope that for him because he has been out for 22 games, like 2 months. And this is the longest stretch of injury he's ever had in his career, whether it's professional, collegiate, or high school. He's never missed this many games his whole life, Precious Achiuwa. So there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment bringing him back and reintegrating him into the lineup. And hopefully, he has said he's been ramping up. And I know that they showed a very, very intense workout that he had after their practice this week, just by himself with Rico Hines and other coaches. So I don't know what to expect when Precious shows up. I hope it's just gangbusters and he just kills it, brings a really good positive energy to our team and aggression on offense, and then very much a great presence on defense, especially down near the basket. And I hope you're right, Tom, but I don't know. I'm not totally positive on it. And once again, I'm not totally positive he'll play tonight. It'd be real nice if he does. And like I said, there is a little bit of a sentimental connection to him playing Memphis Grizzlies because he played college at University of Memphis. So, yeah, he had that really big game against Memphis in Memphis when we beat them down there. So last year, we split the series with them. We beat them in Memphis, and they beat us here. The game that they beat us here was in Toronto. It was when Dylan Brooks took over our house and really killed us. And but listen, Dylan Brooks in town. He's already been over to Chris Boucher's house. They've been hanging out. That's what Chris said in his interview yesterday. Really weird interviews yesterday. Chris Boucher talking about, well, I want to play. I'm not going to play. And then Nick being really kind of mean to Chris once again. He said, oh, he's got to play better. Once again, Nick Nurse throwing a player under the bus in an interview yesterday. And it doesn't even seem like Chris understands what's going on. It's kind of weird. Because Chris has played very well this year, and we feel like he's been doing good. And we don't understand why he doesn't play some games or he plays very little. I don't know what's going on. Nick's very frustrated. In fact, he was about to cuss Michael Grange out yesterday, which I fully endorse. Nick, if you want to cuss Michael Grange out at the Michael Media Scrum, any of those guys, you do it, please, because that's great entertainment. And I wouldn't blame you. Those guys are assholes, some of them, the way they ask you the questions and stuff. But you can tell Nick Nurse's patience is very thin right now because he is just sick of what's going on with the injuries. And maybe he's a little sick on the down low about how his team cannot consistently put the right defensive effort on the court for a whole 48 minutes. So, yeah, Nick was very, very prickly is, I guess, the word they call it yesterday, as far as like answer. You came at him the wrong way. He was pissed and he kind of let you know it. He's like, yeah, you're asking me this? What is bullshit question? Or I never said this. And stuff like that was going on yesterday. And at one point, he looked like he wanted to smack Michael Grange. It was pretty cool. I liked it. All right, Tom Duke saying, I'm sure his minutes will be low, but that bearded Precious knows he could be our hero. Okay, well, I hope so. We'll have to see. Lion Hunter is here. Good morning, Lion Hunter. Expecting a very strong defensive showing tonight. It's frustrating how much our defensive intensity fluctuates. It's almost like they feel like they can coast at times. I don't even know if that's what it is. This is a really weird defensive system that Nick Nurse puts on them. It is very high energy, very difficult. I don't know if average people could do what Nick wants them to do. The demand of their bodies, the output of energy, the running around of all over the place. You really do have to be a superb top athlete to be able to do the things that Pascal Siakam does as far as energy and running all over the place and just all out. And listen, it's not even that they probably don't want to do it. It's just that sometimes is the body willing, or are they feeling it enough in their biorhythm to keep going at that pace at all minutes of the whole entire game? So I wonder about that sometimes. And in that case, if it's those kind of things where the fatigue is the reason why the defensive system is not finishing up, then Nick, you need to sub more often and more frequently, and you will get a more fresh effort from guys over and over again out there. You may really need to put in, plug in and pull out very often to get absolutely fresh all the time. And it's tough. It's tough to gauge. And he's so stubborn with wanting to ride guys for long periods. It's almost really tough just in general for these guys to succeed in his system in some ways, I'm realizing. So hopefully the defensive intensity does not fluctuate. And one of the things he talked about was they really got to finish the defensive plays. They can play really good defense for 2/3 of the defensive possession, but then they screw up right at the end and they get an easy basket, or we don't close out and they get an offensive rebound and a second chance to shoot. The defensive possession is when the other team has the ball coming up the court right up until we get that rebound and end it. And they need to close it out. They can't I got to feel good because I got a good stop. But then they get an offensive rebound and then they get a second chance shot that goes in. We cannot let them do that kind of stuff. This is going to be a really good test tonight. Memphis is a good team. They're young. They're an upstart. They are a very good record over in the West in a brutal conference with a lot of good teams over there. But like I said, they've lost a couple. There's some little bit of weird things going on with them. And listen, we have a lot of gumption ourselves. We need to win. We want to win. And if Nurse is like this with them in the practice, it's not fun. He really is in a bad mood right now. And, some people are talking about we want to fire him. No, I'll go over and over again and say, don't fire Nick Nurse. It's not smart. It really isn't smart. Because we don't understand just how much he's established and built up that makes us successful on this team. And you got somebody else new coming in, they may not have a whole lot figured out and have to take a lot of time to figure it out with the players. And so I don't know. It's one of those things. It's kind of like having a girlfriend. It's well, I could stay with you and maybe switch. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better, but I don't know. It's comfortable having you here with me already. But then it's kind of what's the unknown? Is there something better out there instead of you? There's no guarantees. That's the thing. So it's very much like that situation. Let's see. Logical saying when certain players have a longer injury, they watch a lot of video and come back better. Better IQ'd. Spicy came off this shoulder thing with a lot of time for video watching, came back with upgraded passing. Mike. All right. Yeah, I can agree with this. And Precious did say that he has been watching a lot from his perspective on the bench and learning that way. And it could be that he's been watching a lot of film too. If he's reading those books, those self-help books that he named yesterday, that's going to help also, because that may open his mind in certain ways and stuff. Precious is fun. I'm excited to see what he does in the next 2 days. Hopefully he shows up and he's very positive addition back to the lineup. I think he will be. I have a suspicion that will be true. Mr. Francis is here, y'all. Welcome to Mr. Francis. Thank you for coming in, and join us every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking Raptors on the Raptor Freak YouTube live stream channel every single day. Not a day off. We don't take the off season off. We will be here every day during the summer talking Daily Raptors too. We need you guys to beat the Memphis Grizzlies so we can get the 3rd seed. Okay, this is a fan of another team out west. So I want to see who is trying to get in the 3rd seed so we know what team he is a fan of. If Mr. Francis is not a fan, oh, the Clippers. You're a fan of the Clippers. Okay, yeah, all right. I'm kind of with you, Mr. Francis. Maybe you've watched my content the last couple of days because we played the Clippers, and you want to see what a Raptors fan is saying about all that. And maybe you like what I said about your team, and you see that I'm not an enemy. That's true. I am rooting for you guys out west. Well, we'd love to do this for you, actually. This helps us. And if it helps Kawhi and Norman also, we will do this, hopefully, Mr. Francis. When I saw the name, I was like, man, is this guy for the Grizzlies or against the Grizzlies? Steve Francis. I can't really tell. He's been apologetic since. In that Grizzly Truth movie that's coming out, Steve Francis is interviewed in that movie, that documentary, about what happened with him and the Grizzlies and why he did not want to play in Canada for Vancouver Grizzlies. And he makes amends and realizes that he was just a knuckleheady young man that really didn't have a wherewithal and worldliness to understand that it was a cool thing to go do. And he was just being a jerk. And he apologizes for it. So I wasn't sure. Was it Mr. Francis Grizzlies or Mr. Francis Rockets fan? Maybe he's a Clippers fan. And there you go. You got that order up. We'll say we see if we can serve it up for you tonight. We'll give it our best effort. But once again, that's a really good juggernaut of a team, the Grizzlies. But if we can help the Clipper Nation get a little bit higher in standings this morning, we will, because it's in our best interest also. But also, I don't, like I said, if I see Kawhi win a championship with the Los Angeles Clippers in the near future, I won't be upset because that helps his legend in contrast to LeBron James. And I want that. I want him to be up there with the accolades versus LeBron in that. And Norman, we love Norman. I love to get him something too. There's nobody on your team that I hate too much and say, I don't want to reign for them. Paul George and John Wall, they're the kind of guys that have really put in a real good NBA career so far with nothing to show for it. And it would be nice maybe to see them get something too. All those years toiling away in Washington for John Wall. And then Paul George, he's gotten a lot of knocks over the years for different things. And he would like to prove the haters wrong, I'm sure. All right. So thank you for being here, Mr. Francis. Even if you check in from time to time, the Raptor Freak channel is a great NBA resource to come in and just get some good chat. And we appreciate your presence here. Raptors super fan Monique Lawrence is saying, every time the Raptors play the Grizzlies, I want the purple jerseys, but what jersey do Grizzlies wear? Well, I love for them to wear those throwback jerseys. Maybe we wear the white ones with the stripes and the dinosaur, the Damon Stoudemire. Maybe they wear the green ones that are the old big country ones with the nice the linings with the native, their Aboriginal like writing and the grizzly on there. I don't know. We could get some throwbacks on tonight. That'd be fun. I'm with you on that, Monique. I don't know about wearing purple though. Randolph Phillips is here. Good morning to Randolph Phillips, a great Raptor Freak. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. I need a statement game today that says there's hope. Keep on believing. Let's go, Raptors. That's right. Let's just keep going on. Giovanni, I see your messages on the other streams in the comments. And Giovanni, I don't totally disagree with you, but I hate to even think that this is what's going on. We are stealth tanking. I think that we just have injuries and we're having a real hard time in a super ultra competitive NBA this year. And that if you are not strong, you will not survive because you don't have key players for long periods of time. We've missed Pascal for a period of time. We've missed OG. We've missed Precious for a huge amount of time. Fred's been in and out. We've missed Gary. Every single one of our players has been hurt at some point and missed a game except for Koloko. So it's really kind of been very trying, Giovanni. But, listen, we're going to make it a no-lose scenario for the Raptors this year. We're not going to win? Well, we're going to win at the end of the year around the draft. If we're going to win, let's keep going. And that's what I'm saying. We got to see what this team does. Who knows when that turning point in the season that Bobby and Masai say, okay, this is this kind of year when it's going to be. Because we don't know. It may be too early still for them to completely assess whether we're going one direction or the other. He's got to figure it out with the health. as far as every Precious comes back, everybody's back. And this is what Nick said yesterday. We can't figure anything out about who this team is or what they're capable of until we have the full complement of health on our team and guys are available. So thank you, Randolph Phillips, for the blessings. As always, we love you, Randolph Phillips and the Phillips family. Blue City's here, Philadelphia fan checking in. We've got Clippers fan in already today. Now we've got Philly fan, the Sixers fan. Let's see what they're saying today. Blue City Empire Sports, good morning. Good to see you. Good morning, my Toronto Raptors rivals, fans, family. Let's go Sixers. Well, what are you guys doing tonight? Let's go look at the Sixers. Their record right now is pretty good. You guys are moving up. You did lose your last game, but you're 20-13, sitting in the 5th spot. Who are you playing? Did you play last night? Let's see who you're playing tonight. Let's see. I know you got a good game tonight, probably. Or you're not playing tonight. What is going on, Sixers fan? What, you guys are on a break or something? You lost to Washington a couple days ago. You're just feeling good. Blue City, just feel good. Your team's in contention. Now, wait, let's talk about something we didn't talk about at all this week because there was so much going on. What James Harden did to y'all on Christmas. What the hell is that? Why is he doing that? Saying to reporters, I'd like to return to Houston next year. That is really weird and really weird timing. And why are you doing that, James? You've been such a good teammate and a great force on the Sixers team this year. And I'm losing respect if you're going to come into an interview and say, I'd like to go sign with Houston next year. Oh, my gosh, James Harden. And then you're wearing some crazy-ass poffles or something, some sort of stuffed animals all over you at the end of the game. You look like a character from the Beatles' Yellow Submarine movie. Is what you were looking like by the end of the day with your garb, what you were wearing in the interview after the game. Crazy. So I don't know, Sixer fan. How do you feel about James Harden saying something like that on Christmas Day? That's not the kind of Christmas gift that fans of a team want from one of their star players. I'll tell you that. Well, you go on, Sixers. We play you guys still a couple times. We want to beat your ass. But you know what? If you're going to play other teams, like I said, if you guys beat the Celtics, put them out in the playoffs this year, I will do that bounty fulfillment where I wear Sixers gear on this show. Whichever team puts the Celtics out this season, I will reward that team by wearing something from their team on this show because I have a bounty on the Boston Celtics to be put out and not get a championship this year. So any Eastern team can fulfill it. Whoever does it, Sixers Nation, you come fill it, and I'll wear Sixers gear on this channel. Yeah, I will. Seymour Pape is here, and good morning to the sheriff. What is Seymour saying this morning? We need to take the patient approach with this team. They will figure it out. If the fans don't have the team's back, then why should they give their all? It goes hand in hand. Ooh, this is a very good point by Seymour. This is where we got to start talking about what real one means. Real one doesn't mean that you care so much that you're an asshole boss and that you're always telling them that you suck and you can't get better. And why do I even root for you or any of that kind of stuff? Real one is like a very let's think about it this way. Let's think of the team as either a child that we are the parent to, or maybe a spouse or a partner. It could be a business partner. It could be a romantic partner. You want to be a supportive, unconditional, loving person to that person, whether it's a child or a partner. And you really can't be like an asshole. Like, think about how toxic you're treating the team if it was that kind of relationship instead. Like, you're the person and like the team is your girlfriend. And if you talk to your girlfriend the way you talk to the team after them failing or having a bad day, like your girlfriend goes to work and she gets a demotion at work and makes less money all of a sudden. She's going to come back to the house and you're going to yell at her and say some of the things you would say to the basketball team when they're failing. That's what I want to put a challenge on fans of the Raptors. Think about your talk towards the team and how you treat it. And would you treat a person like that? Because some of y'all are out of pocket with your critique and the way you overreact and have so much hate and anger when they lose. Don't treat them like that. Be a caring, cuddle person to hold them and say, look, we understand, we love you, you're going to get better, and we believe in you. And that the first part of what Seymour is saying here is very important. We need to take a patient approach. We have young players that are going to be great down the road. Why do we want to ruin things by being so crazy and overreactive? It's like you're a psycho the way you act towards the team, some of y'all, as far as like, oh, why aren't you good? Why aren't you better? Oh, I hate this team. I can't even watch. Then don't watch. Go away. You're not a real one, is what it is. Real ones love their team unconditionally. And if they win, they win. If you give them that base support of support, they will do better. And I believe what Seymour's saying is very true. Is like, why are y'all crapping all over them for just the littlest things? We played the Clippers. The Clippers are a good team. And it wasn't something to be all upset about, y'all. Y'all are such knee-jerk reactors in the Raptors fan nation. Y'all need to stop doing this. Y'all look bad. And you're also like really making people like me look bad because you talk out of pocket so much in emotion. So think about the team being like a spouse, a partner, or a child that you have in your life. Do you treat that person like this? Then you are crazy and you're not a nice person. You need to get counseling, is what I'll say. So let's be unconditionally loving towards the Raptors and accept their positivity and negativity, their successes and their failures together. And know that we're going towards winning. Masai Ujiri's involved. And that we have Scottie Barnes. And the timeline with Scottie Barnes, we don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but we need to be patient because it's only like his second year in the league. So there's a lot to that. Thank you, Seymour Pape, for your point. And I wanted to double down on it and give some more to it because I completely agree with you. Space Cadet saying too much tank talk on Twitter. It's exhausting. Yes. And it really goes back and forth whether we're winning or losing. You know, we could lose again tonight and it'll get even more intense tomorrow. It is stupid and it's annoying. You know, when I thought that there was a problem with the team and we were broken, I talked a bit about tank talk because it may have seemed like we lost something and we may not get it back. Well, we've gotten it back and I'm not worried about it anymore. I don't think that we're going to tank on purpose. Some people think we're tanking stealthily on the down low, but I don't think that's true. I think that we're not like that. Even though we lost a lot in Tampa, we were never, ever actually truly tanking. Some people say a stealth tank or whatever. Well, when you hold out a couple guys to your lineup and they seem like they could play, yeah, maybe you are near the end of the season in Tampa. But that's not what we're doing right now. We're going all out and we're trying to win, and we need to do that. And Thomas he's doubling down with what you're saying, Space Cadet. And I agree. I'm sick of it. Just tone it out. And once again, this is a real good way to separate the real ones from the ones that are just there to feel good about good feelings about winning. You got to ride through all the bad stuff to get to the good stuff and really earn it. That's how the team has to do it, and that's how the real fans have to do it. You don't want to be a real one? You go ahead and go away and go watch the Leafs, go watch whatever, go get into something else, a reality show or something, and come back when the things are good again. And then you can come in and say, yeah, we're winning again and be a part of our nation. But you're not a real one. Let's just put it that way. Tom Duke saying toxicity levels have been off the charts. Tom is out there with the he's reading it like it's a Geiger counter. He's reading it like it's a metal detector. He is getting whoa, there's like plutonium level toxicity in this tweet. Damn. Yeah, Tom, cut it all out. Get the radiation suit, get de-radionized, and get away from that shit. Oh my gosh, you're right. I really have been very selective about being back on Twitter. I only look at Raptors accounts that are not toxic at this point. And it's all the people, the journalists, I'll follow all them, like Grange, Doug Smith, Lewinberg. But there were some, like just people that are fans that are on Raptors Twitter that I was following, but they're getting toxic too. So I'm just like, unfollow, unfollow, unfollow. Because I just want the facts, ma'am. I'm Joe Friday, and I just want the facts. I don't want your stupid ass opinions about whether we should tank or not. I don't want your stupid ass toxicity. I just want the facts, the information, and that's why I go there. I don't need all your stupid opines about, ooh, we need to tank for Wemby now because we lost the Clippers. No. Click is here. Good to see Click, a long-standing OG on this channel. That's right. Click. Time is ticking. If we don't start winning consistently, like Masai said, play in for what? I'm with this too, though. See, there's two sides to it, and I completely agree with Masai on this. We are not in the playoffs anymore, apparently, is what people have told me, that the Bulls have leapfrogged us with winning last night, and we are sitting in the 11th seed at this point. Well, you know how many games it is to get back in the playoffs? We're actually tied with the Bulls. So, but they have the tiebreaker over us, I guess, right now. Or they just like showing us out of the playoffs. It could be either one of us. I don't know. I don't know how that would work, that tiebreaker. But we are only 2.5 games out of a regular playoff spot with Miami Heat in 6. They're only 2.5 games ahead of us. So there's still very much an opportunity to not even get in the play-in and be in the playoffs. So it's way too early. I'm not worried. If we get to winning, we start getting things going with good things happening. Well, we could easily get a full playoff spot still. But I agree with this sentiment that we don't want to be messing around with the play-in. That's just not fun. I think the play-in in some ways is something that people will try and avoid both ways, whether it's underneath it or above it. Obviously above it, but even below it, I think some people will be trying to avoid it. Seymour is saying Coloco should be being developed in the 905 program like Pascal and Fred. It's not fair that we're developing players when we have winners. Fred and Pascal OG need a vet player like to go with the young SB4. Yeah, I mean, listen, we talked a lot about Jakob Poeltl this week. It would be great to see him revisit being on the Raptors again right now. It'd be like a perfect fit. And I kind of agree with this. And also, yeah, I really want Christian to play the 905 because I feel like it would do so many good things for him. And we're missing out on it. And really, Nick has said the only reason why he has not gone to 905 yet is the injuries we've had. We couldn't afford to send him down there because we needed the bodies on the main roster. And it could be that he misses out on playing 905. I don't know. He's injured right now. So he may not even be playing either game tonight. And that's too bad. But I agree. I think that we've been making a mistake not using him down there, but they haven't been able to use him down there just because of how bad injuries have been for the Raptors this year. And this is really true. We can say this, and it's not even a bad excuse. It's very true. When injuries destroy your season, when you have so many, it is a valid excuse for why your team isn't performing and as good as it should be. And that is very much this year for us so far. Logical is saying the Raptors' defensive system is one way, championship level. Why waste time on lesser things? We developed the offense and defense to be playoff viable. Defense always pressure to be able to get the ball. Yeah, I agree with this. I'm not against Nick's plan. I'm just saying that sometimes that this is part of the problem is that this is such a high demand of their energy and who they are that it's natural that they may be letdowns just from letting your guard down because you're tired for just a brief second. And that may be the worst time to let your guard down because when you let your guard down, all of a sudden, boom, somebody's going to the basket and making a layup. So, yeah, I agree with this, Mike. I like that they have this system, and I do think it is playoff tested, and it is going to really pay off when we get to that point in the season. We get to the playoffs. But also understand that's part of it. You add the injuries, and then you add how much energy it takes to play the way Nick Nurse wants you to play. And there you go. You get fatigue, and you get sometimes lapses of not doing it exactly right. Mr. Francis is saying also a Raptor fan as well. Awesome. All right, cool. So you got the West and the East Coast team, and it sounds like your teams are lining up with mine this year. How should we go about decreasing Fred's workload? Well, it sounds like he may not even play tonight. I mean, listen, the emergence of Malachi Flynn recently does help this. If we could get Fred's minutes down partly because we're increasing Malachi's, if Dalano can go down to 905 and play a few games down there and curry some favor back with Nick Nurse and get himself back out on the court, that would be great too. There's something that these guys are not doing and they're getting in the doghouse with Nick. And he won't spell it out completely clearly to us. But Dalano and Chris have been very much in the doghouse in the last 2 weeks. We've seen them play very sparingly, getting a lot of DMPs for Dalano, and then Chris barely getting in there and playing anything. And the way Nick said Chris needs to play better really got like he's really pissed and he's upset with them. But I don't even know if Chris understands that he's that mad because in his interview, he didn't understand what was going on. So, Nick, you need to go get with Chris and explain to him and recalibrate what he needs to be doing out there so you can set him up for success. It seems like he's blind to what he's not doing right. And maybe you need to go and maybe he's like, oh, this is the same shit I've been telling him for a couple of years. He should know what he needs to do to get it right. It's that kind of thing. But I think it has to do with wildness and maybe not covering things exactly right on the defense. The problems that sometimes happen with Chris and Dalano, and the reason why they're not playing. But I love the idea that, yeah, we need to cut down Fred's workload, obviously, because he's getting worn out already. And I think he misses the game tonight. Maybe he'll play tomorrow against Chris Paul and the Suns. But, Malachi could be the answer to this. So I think that Malachi is the short answer to what your question is, Mr. Francis. Space Cadet, one way would be to find him a good backup point guard, which they've never done. It forces Knicks to play him a lot. Well, I don't know. I think Malachi's really gaining his trust right now. He's been exceptional on the defensive end. That's been the one area where he's kind of been kept out. Maybe it's because he's not been hitting his shot. Maybe he's not been playing as good on defense as he needs to stay out on the court. But he's doing it right now because he's definitely getting the minutes. And that's going to be the whole thing. This happened last year when Fred went out. Malachi stepped into the starting lineup and he did very well. So I'm expecting this tonight, that Malachi will start tonight if Fred doesn't play, and that he will hopefully he'll look real good because he's hitting threes and doing capable things and not making us look bad. Mike G is here, another new name. Hope you'll join us every morning, 9:30 a.m. We're here talking Raptors. FYI, this is Logical Raptors Fan. Okay, it's your other channel, Mike. Okay, I saluted you in Chev's chat page. And I didn't think you knew it was me. Yeah, Chev ain't no into other channels beyond his stuff. So I use my Mike G account. Okay. Oh, I see. So when you go in there, you have to use that account because he doesn't like to see your YouTube name in his account. Wow, Chev, be nice. Put a little more promotion out there. And thank you, Mike, for putting me on blast there. So Mike's on two. He's talking to himself there. That's his dog in his pic. Oh, there's Mike's dog in the pic. Tom Duke, check out Mike's dog. Let's see. Tom's saying, love that guy, but Raptors Freak is the best. I can't believe how many say Fred VanVleet's injury is fake or new. Brutal self-focused takes. Well, that just sounds like tabloidism. That just sounds like stuff you would see in the grocery store in the aisle when you're checking out. Fred VanVleet not playing because of fake injury. Why you think he'd be faking an injury when the team needs him the most? No, this is the thing. Fred is team first all around. And, these are just people that don't like Fred. They want to just say stupid shit. Listen, that man got landed on by Robin Lopez like it was a wrestling move last Friday. We don't know how much his back had been kind of bugging him all weekend over Christmas. And then, listen, it just tightened up in the game the other night. Our team has a next man up mentality. This is the opportunity for Malachi. And, this may be a really good thing for Malachi and establishing some more things in starting tonight. So I hate this, that they think Fred's a liar. And they just need to shut up. This is the toxic stuff you're talking about, and we don't need to hear it. Fred is out because he's out for legitimate reasons. That man has played so hurt in the years for the Raptors. You disrespect him when you say stuff like this, when he's gone out there and played on half a knee in many, many games in the last year, and you're going to say this, that, oh, he's just faking it? No, this man would play if he could because he really wants to help this team win. In fact, it was fun to hear about Norman and Fred, how they bonded this week. They talked about it. It's like, well, when we came in here, we both wanted to really win really bad. So we dedicated ourselves to helping our team win as much as possible. And that a huge part of the friendship of Norman Powell and Fred VanVleet is built on this belief that we want to do everything possible to help our team win. And that hasn't changed in Fred's head. Y'all don't understand this about him. He is selfless. He cares about this team. He will morph and change his role to fit whatever the team needs, and he just wants to help this team win championships. If they asked him to be the backup point guard all of a sudden, he may be begrudging about it, but he would do it because it would be explained to him in the way that makes it sound like it's the best thing for the team. Then he would do it because he's that kind of guy. We don't understand him to a degree, some of y'all, that he really is the most team first person on our team. And team first people do not sit if they feel like they're in fake an injury. They don't do that. They're actually hurt. And I'm sick of it, Tom. Tell these people to GTFO. Nameless is saying this team is definitely not tanking on purpose. I bet my life on it. Yeah, if they were doing that, they'd do it even better. Like, well, they're not good at winning. They're not good at tanking either. But I agree with Nameless. They're not tanking on purpose. And it's a silly take. It really is. Monique, once again, is saying, fuck the tank word, the T word. She's not had that in her vocabulary, and I'm with her. I am an anti-tank person. I'm sorry. If we lose a lot and we get a good draft pick, I don't call that tanking. That just means that our season didn't go very well. And that's what happens. I don't think that whatever happens has to do with tanking because the Raptors are an organization. They're going to try everything possible to win and get towards Larry O'Brien's. And that's what they're all about. They're not about losing on purpose or trying to lose on purpose on the down low without any of us knowing. That is not what they're about. They're winning culture, and they're trying their ass off. In fact, what I just described about what Nick Nurse demands of our defensive scheme, would tankers or people who aren't trying be able to play that kind of defense for Nick Nurse? Hell no, they wouldn't. They would be like, oh, we're not supposed to be trying, right? Or something. No, it's not like that, y'all. And I wish y'all would understand this. And maybe y'all need to come watch my channel more. Tank talkers and toxic fans that are talking about Fred like that. Oh, yeah. Seymour saying a little bit late with this one, but it was a hella funny seeing Pascal getting showered, and it was Nick's 200th win. Laugh out loud. OG throwing the water bottles. This is all cool. Let's reminisce and revisit this with Seymour Pape. We did talk about this a little bit. You know, that whole moment with OG made me see kind of a psycho side of him. He's like kind of like laughing at the pain he was inflicting on Pascal Siakam in that moment. He's whipping those bottles, and you know that they hurt. If they're kind of half full with water and they have some weight in them and they're hitting the body like, ow, OG, chill, bro. You know, he's like, and Wancho literally had to come and grab him and hold him back because he didn't stop. He did it at one time and he stopped, and then he started doing it again some more, and it's very comical. And I don't know if this has to do with something like with OG just like found a really funny sweet spot of comedy, the throw the bottles at Pascal at that moment, but he really enjoyed that. In fact, you could see the glee and the laughing on him was very kind of psycho. I love that moment though. And hey, I have no problem with that. OG, you have fun, but don't hurt Pascal. So funny, Seymour. I'm glad to revisit that. That was a funny moment. Mike saying, I just tune out when we're in those points. Everyone has theories of blame, trading, and tanking that completely nonsense and have very little basketball IQ. I'm thinking emotional about the game, in my opinion. Emotional about the last game. You know, it's true. Like, listen, you know, everybody's going to have opinions. It's like some of them are so asinine and crazy. I know mine are sometimes. I will admit it. At least I'll say it. And some people won't admit ever that they're being asinine and stupid. But, you know, if it's pointed out to me, well, that's asinine and stupid, I'll say, okay, it is. But yeah, other people, I mean, it's annoying. It is really annoying. And, you know, the thing about it that's so insulting is you can tell these people have a very shallow surface level of intelligence about basketball. And I think that you're right, Mike, about this. And you can usually suss them out by a couple of things that they may say in the middle of what they're saying. You're like, wait, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. The logic of what you're just saying. You are not a logical Raptors fanatic, because obviously you're not really a fanatic of the Raptors because you don't care about them, because you wouldn't say something so stupid. And what you said does not have any bearing in the reality of the NBA and how it works with trades or with teams and how they like to win and do what they're doing. So you're not being logical either. So you're a logical non-Raptors fanatic. How about that? Boom. You just tell them that. Jay Conda's here. I believe I seen you last year a couple times, Jay Conda. Good to see you again. We're going to be fine. How about we put out good vibes to the universe about the Raptors? We really are trusting and have faith. I love this, Jay Conda. I believe in tonight. We're going to go down to Scotty Bank Arena and we're going to mess up the Grizzlies. We're going to make a statement game tonight. John Morant, you're amazing talent, but we are going to OG-itis you. I would love to see OG cut the plumbing off on you. Maybe bring you down to earth a little bit. I mean, really tie you up real nice like a pretzel. OG all over you. It's like, you know, OG will give you half of what you get normally. That's all you get. You get half of what you normally get. When you see OG Anunoby, that OG-itis gets in your knees, all of a sudden, you got to get that topical cream the next day because you had to work so hard because OG Anunoby was guarding you. I want to see this tonight. And I really do think we got a chance tonight. Obviously, we have a chance in any game. It's really how we come out with what effort and how we establish the game and maybe what we allow the other team to do. That we failed against the Clippers the other night from stopping their offense effectively, that they were averaging 30 points a quarter. We can't let Memphis do this tonight. This is another team from the West that can really fill it up. And we don't want to get into Western Conference scoring races with these Western Conference teams this week. Phoenix, the Clippers, Memphis tonight. We want to cut them down like an Eastern Conference team would. We need to grind it out like New York Knicks, Miami Heat, 1996 kind of score, where it's like maybe it's like 86-90 or something like that by the end of the game. We want to see a game that is very, very defensive-minded, not easy to score, and low scoring. And that'll be in our favor if we can do this. And this really depends on our defensive intensity and how well we meet them. Now, John Moran in the open court is so dangerous. They're going to have to seek him out, search him out, and get to him quickly before he can get ahead of steam coming down the court and towards our basket. So these are a couple of keys to victory. Let's limit their scoring as much as possible by shutting their water off defensively and really, really trying to limit their best stars and really guarding the three, just doing everything right. This score cannot be a high-scoring game. We really got to keep the cap on the bottle and not let the genie out. And I love to see some Khem Birch tonight, Nick Nurse. I'll say that until I'm blue in the face. I want Khem Birch to play more because we're a better defensive team down low when Khem Birch is playing. He's the best low post defender on our team. Scotty and Precious are right there with him. But Khem is our best low post big man, and we need to use him when a big man like Zubac is killing us. So thank you, Jay Conda, with the reminder to let's stay positive, y'all, and bring the positive vibes to the Scotty Bank Arena tonight. Nacho the Nacho, Papa Nacho, and bring those vibes around the city and just believe, and we will achieve. That's right. Yeah, I sounded like a poster on an elementary school classroom. Yeah. You believe you achieve. Tom Duke is saying Seymour. Funny fact is OG totally got super excited and threw bottles at Fred VanVleet when he got showered as well. Of course, OG Plumbing likes a good water fight. Hilarious. Tom Duke. I did not remember this, that when he did the Orlando 55, Fred VanVleet got the same treatment from OG. Okay, well, when these guys get good games like this, they better find out where OG is and watch out. Like when you come back to the back after you make a big scoring game, Raptors, you get like a 50-point game, Gary Trent Jr., you better watch out when you come in that room. You better find OG first and like be blocking, be ready to block because you know OG's coming at you with water bottles, not just the water. So crazy. So crazy. And he did do that to him too. Oh, that's amazing, Tom. I love that. And Seymour thinks it's funny too. Lolita's here. Good to see Raptor Freak Lolita. A long-standing good Raptor Freak. One of my favorites. Let's see. Yes, it's nice to see the fans being so intelligent and knowing that our team is young and needs some experience. They will figure it out. Then the NBA, watch out. Yes, Lolita. This is the voice of reason. Have some perspective, y'all. Our team is very young. They were very young last year. It's amazing how well we did last year, considering how young we were. And, well, maybe our youth and how young we are is really catching up, especially when you want to start a rookie center named Christian Coloco. That really makes us look young when he's out there, and there's a lot of rookie mistakes. And, this has been part of the difference of this year. The injuries are a little bit more worse with the timing. And then also, we've been trying to start a rookie at center, and he's getting eaten alive by the offenses of other teams. So, yeah, but I agree with Lolita. Give some time and watch out, NBA. And we are coming, and we're going to be very good. All the flashes of brilliance and greatness in a player like Scotty Barnes are there. And we're going to see it more and more as we go. Nameless is saying, once this team gets healthy, you're going to see a different squad entirely. Yes, I love that. 100% from Tom Duke. And then Logical saying, facts. It's high demand, but that's where scouting is key and understanding the guys that can run it, not Goliath. Siakam is the model for VO2 max. I don't even know what that is and how it can really make a big difference. It's easy to test for. Okay, I'm not sure what Mike is saying, but we need more players that can take the demands. You don't like playing Nick Nurse's system? Well, you won't be here for very long. You got to be able to play it. Raymond Jacobs saying, you talk about the fight between Mo Wagner and Killian yet? Okay, I'll talk about it now. I did see it, Raymond Jacob. I'm glad you got the link there just in case nobody has seen it or understands what we're talking about right now. Click that link. Raymond Jacob will tell you about it. I will talk about it right now. I did see how it happened last night and checked it out. It's a very silly, weird clip, and the Pistons are idiots. I'm just put that right there. Mo Wagner is annoying, and he is a goon, and he's a jerk, and he did push Diallo, or was it Hayes? He pushed Hayes into the Detroit bench, but he didn't push him that hard, and he did push him, and it was dangerous. Now, the way they overreacted towards it was really bad. First, Diallo came and shoved him from behind, and then Killian came from behind and knocked him in the back of the head, and it looked like he knocked him out. Now, I don't know if he actually knocked him out. In some ways, maybe Mo was acting because it looked really kind of weird how he fell, and then he was laying there, and he got back up. It may have been that he was milking it, because sometimes they do that, just like a soccer player would, or a football player, I should say. Would really milk something over a act. So I don't know if he really actually knocked him out or he just said, oh, I'm going to go down because this will really cause problems for them. I don't know. I can't speculate on that, but there is going to be major issues from this. The Pistons are going to get major suspensions, and this is not the arena for this kind of shit to happen. In fact, it was crazy. The PA announcer, like Herbie for them, was going, do not go on the court. Do not go on the court, because they know Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, the Malice in the Palace was a very ugly scene where fans came in on the court and fought the players in the middle of the game. Well, this was in Detroit last night, the same arena. And this is the kind of stuff they do not want happening. They do not want a repeat of that ugliness, because it really hurt the league. So they really did a good job of bringing the security guys around the whole court quickly, of getting all the coaches in the middle of all of it, because they didn't need all the players just throwing down on each other. And then the fans like not being told to stay in their seats by the PA announcer. That was a very dangerous situation because of Detroit's history. And the NBA was kind of shitting their pants last night when that whole thing went down. Trust me. The head office, those people in the replay center, the referees were like, oh, don't, no, because it could really hurt the league if there's a repeat of the Malice in the Palace. And there almost was last night. So, yeah, Diallo, but especially Killian Hayes, he's going to get suspended. We look at what Serge got for pushing Marquise Chris that one time. He got suspended for 10 games, and he got like a $500,000 fine. It was a crazy fine. So, yeah, he's going to get worse than that. I'll bet you money that Killian Hayes gets 15-game suspension for what happened, at least 15 games. It could be more, and he's going to be paying a lot of money too. Now, there's going to be other repercussions from guys that came away from the bench too. Like the people like Mo Bamba is going to get suspended also. He was looking for that smoke. He came over like he wanted to strike someone in the face. He was real mad about what happened to Mo. So that's going to be something that's going to happen too, is there's going to be the primary suspensions and fines for Killian, obviously. I don't know if they'll fine Mo Wagner. I don't know if he'll get anything for what he did. They might, just for initiating the whole thing from a dirty shove. But the primary guys will get it, and then there'll be a secondary suspensions that are everybody who left the bench is going to get suspended also, because that's just the rules at this point because of the original Malice of the Palace. And they need to take care of this and swiftly. And they will, trust me, because they want to make an example that we are not going to tolerate this kind of shit in our league. And it was really Bush League. Like somebody said that Killian Hayes hitting him in the back of the head was the ultimate waist ute move. Yeah, in some ways I can agree that that's what a loser does when you hit somebody in the back of the head like that. That is, yeah. But yeah, it's going to be bad for Orlando also, because a lot of their players left the bench. And who's going to be playing them in the next couple of days may get an easier team to beat. Because a lot of guys are not going to be available. And same goes for Detroit. But it's really interesting. Why do y'all have such a rivalry? Y'all are the bottom of the Eastern Conference. What is going on? Why y'all have so many emotions about this? It's so stupid. Talking about dirty plays, let's just keep going with this whole topic right now. The thing that happened last night with DeMar DeRozan and Grayson Allen was ugly also. Grayson Allen has been a dirty player in this league for a while. He took out Al Caruso last year, and this may be part of the reason why DeMar was so mad at him. Basically, at one point, Grayson came at him and hit him with a forearm in his back of his shoulder and his back, like full on, and just out of the blue. And it was so dirty and blatant. Well, DeMar wasn't having it. He came at him like a man from Compton that stands up for himself and throws down. That's the thing, Grayson. You don't want the smoke from DeMar DeRozan. Listen, he's a nice guy, but don't get it twisted. He will fuck you up in a moment on that court real quick. And he may have people somewhere that saw that and be like, they did DeMar wrong, and they may want to come get you. You got to understand, Grayson Allen. You think this is fun and games. You can mess around and be dirty and hit people in games. You're taking people's livelihood like Alex Caruso last year, and you messed up the Chicago Bulls season by injuring him last year. You don't think the Bulls don't remember that? And that whole situation that happened with DeMar last night, he was cussing you out. He came right at you, and he listen, they know he's smart. He's not going to fight you, but he came over there and let you know. And you saw the shame on your face when he came at you and said that, because we know that part of your role is on the Bucks is to be a fucking goon, to be a dirty ass player. That's literally in your role description, goon, dirty. And that we all know that in the league. And DeMar called you out for it. The league needs to punish you and make you, to dissuade you from being like that in the league, because you're going to hurt somebody like you hurt Caruso last year, and it's going to be really bad. And that was totally, totally bad shot that you gave DeMar. And he's totally right. I stand with DeMar DeRozan. And in some ways, I hope somebody does kick your fucking ass, because you're a punk ass little bitch, Grayson Allen, and you can get what you deserve. You want that smoke from DeMar DeRozan, you're going to get it one way or another. It may not be on the court. Trust me. You don't want to mess with DeMar, because you don't know who his associates are. His associates from where he grew up, they're serious people. And you might have just stepped against the Crips, bro. And so you better watch out, Grayson Allen. That's what I'm going to say right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Raymond, for bringing up the fight night last night in the NBA. Yeah, NBA action is fantastic, like WCW Nitro. All right, let's see. Monique is saying, news and notes, Dalano was in my neck of the woods giving out free PS5s for Christmas. Holy crap, he was giving out PS5s? I know he was up there at his community center, and he said, listen, I came to this community center when I was a kid during Christmas, and they gave me things. Like, he was that kid who got the stuff from the people that were charitable back in the day, and that now he's given back literally exactly where he was given to years and years ago. And that's going to be so satisfying and such a full circle kind of thing for him. You go Dalano Banton. And I love talking about this kind of stuff way more than the stuff I just talked about. The beautiful giving and positive things about a young man like Dalano Banton giving back to his community in a place where he was given to before. And it really, really mattered. And it was a part of his memories and stuff. This really is a beautiful full circle thing. And I'm so proud of you, Dalano. I wish you were playing more this season. I don't get what's going on with you this year. Last year, you were so high usage between the Raptors and the Raptors 905. And this year, you have not played a whole lot in different places, either one of them. So in some ways, I am really glad that you're playing in the 905 game tonight, because we know you're going to get a good chunk of minutes and some good run and good reps on the 905 tonight. So you go 905. And let's talk about the 905 real quick. They have a referee crew tonight. The referee crew for the Raptors 905 game in Iowa, guys. These guys are in Iowa. They're playing Iowa tonight. The head ref is Angel Kent. The second ref for the 905 is Charles Watson. And the third ref is Biniam Maru. And I have no information on them at all. You just got your referees for the 905 game at 8 o'clock tonight is Angel Kent, Charles Watson, and Biniam Maru. Now let's go on to the main team. Yeah, the Raptors are playing tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies in Scotiabank Arena. Our head ref tonight is Courtney Kirkland. We have not seen Courtney yet this season, so I can't tell you whether we won or lost our last game with him. I will tell you he's one of the worst refs for the Raptors historically. He is in his 24th season as a referee in the NBA. He is from Flint, Michigan, but he lives in Atlanta. His favorite TV show is Billions. His favorite movie is The Matrix. His favorite app is the NBA app, and his favorite book is Total Money Makeover. He has not asked for any food, Tom Duke, so he looks like he's a robot. He does not want any food. He has no food listed on here, so maybe he is a robot, a cyborg or something. I don't know. But let's see anything like interesting about him. Courtney Kirkland has been involved in efforts to curb homelessness in Atlanta. He also supports the Help for Flint water relief efforts in his hometown. He enjoys playing golf, exercising, and writing. He has a bachelor's degree in computer science. So this is a smart guy. And it's good to hear that he has very important, good charities that he looks out for. Now, as far as the win percentage for the Raptors with him refereeing is not good. He's the worst ref for us tonight, the head ref. We win 43% of the time when Courtney's out there. He is seriously, he's the worst 20-year ref for us in the whole entire league. He's better than Ed Malloy. He's better. He's worse than Tommy Brothers. He's worse than Rodney Mott. He's worse than Pat Frere. He's worse than all those guys. He is the worst 20-year ref statistically for the Raptors in the league. Meanwhile, the Memphis Grizzlies win 49% of the time when he's out there. So 43% win percentage for the Raptors under Courtney Kirkland and a 49 win percentage for the Grizzlies under Courtney Kirkland. Our second referee tonight is Michael Smith. He is in his 31st year in the NBA as a ref. He is one of the older refs in this league. Now, listen, guys, he was born in Memphis, and he still lives in Memphis. So we got a Memphis ref in this game tonight. He is literally from Memphis. Favorite TV show is NCIS New Orleans. His favorite movie is Training Day with Denzel Washington. His favorite musician is Charlie Wilson. His favorite book is The President is Missing. He most like to visit the White House. His bucket list is to skydive. Michael Smith, you better just go skydive, bro. And then his favorite meal is dinner. Once again, Michael Smith is a guy who said he just likes dinner. He won't tell us what he wants, but that is what he is into. He likes eating dinner later. He played basketball and baseball at Southside High School in Memphis, Tennessee. So this guy is literally a Memphis ref. He's been in the league for 31 years, and our win percentage under him is 48%. Once again, he's in that group like James Capers Jr., Tony Brothers, Rodney Mott, Ed Malloy. Michael Smith is just the same as those guys. We don't have a very good win percentage with him, but the Grizzlies have an even worse one under him. They win 39%. So it's 48% for us, 39% with Michael Smith, but he is from Memphis. Maybe he has a lower percentage because he doesn't want to look like he's helping his hometown team. So who knows? Those first two refs are sketchy to me. They're old refs. They're not been kind to us. And Michael Smith, the last time he refereed for us, we did win, though. I will say that. The last time he ref this season for us, we did win. The third ref is Fennessy Ransom. He is in his 6th season. He is born in Atlanta, Georgia. He still lives around the Atlanta area. He went to the University of Georgia. His favorite TV show is G.Allen and Jacoby. That's really bad taste. And honestly, that show's over because Jacoby has been released by ESPN, and that show is done. Fuck that show with Jalen Rose. And that's a horrible show to like Fennessy. His favorite movie is Enter the Dragon. I can give him some respect for that Bruce Lee movie. Favorite musician is The Foreign Exchange. His favorite book is The Tao of Abundance. His favorite app is Shazam. He'd like to visit Cairo, Egypt. I hope he doesn't mean Cairo, Georgia, because he could go to Cairo, Georgia if he's from Atlanta. It's real easy to get to Cairo, Georgia. I know where Cairo is. His bucket list is learn to play the piano. His hidden talent is public speaking. And his favorite meal, he's the most specific. He actually gives us a meal, Tom Duke. So maybe he's the only one who needs to eat today because the other two guys don't have anything for real. Hibachi chicken and shrimp. So he's like going to that hibachi with that butterfly, throwing all the stuff around and cutting it up right in front of you. So he likes the hibachi, Fennessy. His interests include golf and leadership development. And he played basketball also. He is a former basketball player who played for Winston-Salem State University. He played 2 years also at the University of Georgia. So he was a collegiate basketball player, Fennessy Ransom. But his record for us is the best of the three today, 57% winning percentage for the Raptors. And meanwhile, the Grizzlies only win 1 out of 3 games with him. 33% is so he's kind of favoring the Raptors, the last guy, Fennessy. So I'm really suspect about Michael Smith being from Memphis and refereeing this game tonight. And then I hate Courtney Kirkland. I'm going to tell you right now, he's one of the worst refs for us. He's a very smart guy, but he's a jerk. And we really need to watch these guys for ref manipulation tonight. If they treat Ja Morant like a golden boy tonight, you might see this, that we've got older refs tonight, and they very much have an agenda. I don't like that I don't think they should do this, where they have referees ref games for their hometown. I always think that that's so suspicious. When John Goble and Jason Goble are refereeing Miami games, when Philadelphia refs are reffing Sixers games, well, now we got a Memphis ref refereeing a Memphis game tonight. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right, let's keep going with the comments. There's your ref report for tonight. It looks a little, it's an older ref crew, and maybe the third ref's the nicest one. Maybe Michael Smith will try and show that he's not showing favor to Memphis. Who knows? But I do not trust Courtney Kirkland. He's not a nice ref to us. Top saying, regardless of whether Fred VanVleet's injury is short or long-term, there has been a long-term injury history for Fred dating back to last year after the All-Star break. Does it make sense to give Fred the bag? This is something that we've talked about recently in other circles I've talked about, is that if he's going to get this extension this year, is his value decreasing in some ways because of how this year's been going for him? That may possibly be true. We'll have to see. Part of it is his value is compared to what other teams want for him. Like if he becomes a free agent, what would a team like Chicago or Orlando be willing to give him to try and lure him away? And that's where it kind of meets with his value. We can't just set his price, because in some ways his price is determined by what other teams may pay him also. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the money with this. I agree, top. In some ways his stock has gone down this season. and that he may not, the price may be different in the wrong way for him right now. David's here, not at all. So he thinks you don't give him the bag. Nameless saying, I would choose the Raptor Freak YouTube channel over all others combined. No cap. Thank you, Nameless. That's nice to say. But once again, we're not in a competition, but I do enjoy y'all's patronage and that you enjoy my style and what I'm doing on here. You get the ref report, you get other fun stuff. And I appreciate you being here all the time, Nameless. And I do appreciate the Italian lessons. Maybe you can give me a little Italian lesson before we're done today. Logical saying, top, define bag. People don't understand what's fair and what is an overpay. So clearly stating that part adds the context of a clear response. Yeah, I think this is true too. And the salary cap goes up and people get more and more money. And everybody thinks, oh my gosh, this is way too much money. But we don't know what exactly is fair price at any given time in the NBA because it fluctuates and changes so much. There's a new TV deal coming down the pipe and it's going to change the cap. And the Players Association is fighting with the NBA for what percentage of those profits will go into paying the players. And in some ways, the NBA wants to establish a hard cap where there's just, this is the ceiling. Y'all can't get any more money than this. They wanted this a long time ago when Kevin Durant became like the first $100 million man with his contract. It was the total of the whole contract. Now guys are getting to the point where they're almost making $100 million a year. It's crazy and grown exponentially. But once again, I'm the kind of person that doesn't get mad when I see the figure. It may be gross and disgusting in the context of the economic situation of the world today with inflation and how hard it is for average Joe. But the market dictates it. And I don't get mad when I see a guy like Pascal making $33 million a year because this is what we pay him and that's what he gets. So it's kind of weird. You can look at a number and be like, man, that's way overpaying him. But in the context of the salary cap and the way it all fits, it may actually be accurate in the right amount for that person. And this is an area where we just got to trust in Bobby and Masai, that they're smart about the puzzle pieces and what they want to spend because they're thinking ahead. They have a 10-year plan and they're thinking about, well, I have to have this money ready for Scotty. If we're going to do this with Pascal in the future, they're thinking all that about that. And they won't make a move to mess up. I trust these guys. They'll pay Fred what's fair and what they need to do to retain him on this team. And it won't be a detriment to other guys or take away from the possibility of what we really want to do. Trust in Masai and Bobby. You got to just do that there. Tom Duke saying, Lex is all Raptors fan needs. Probably the healthiest choice on our media menu. Here's a clip of OG throwing bottles at Fred and Pascal. At Fred and at Pascal. Awesome, Tom. Thank you for that link. Check out that link if you want to laugh of OG being a little bit of a psycho. Well, the other thing about the difference between me and Chev is he's doing the whole NBA to a degree. And I do the whole NBA, but it really is a major focus on the Raptors. They have those channels Locked On Knicks, Locked On Nets, Locked On Raptors. And I don't have any problem with Sean Woodley. I think he's great in what he does. He has a very good delivery. He sounds like Seth MacFarlane to me. He sounds just like Seth MacFarlane. I think he does a good job with the Locked On Raptors. But in some ways, I'm a little bit further than Locked On Raptors because I'm going in all kinds of directions. I'm basically Locked On Raptors culture. And I'm doing everything about Raptors. And I'm crazy. I'll talk about all that crazy shit and cuss. And also we do politics here. So there's a little bit more here in some ways. And there's Locked On in a different way in some ways too. Top saying logical. Anything more than what he's getting now is an overpay. He's a backup. Woo! Top is saying that, Fred may need to go back to being the backup point guard at some point. Well, Scotty becomes a capable starting point guard. This inevitably might happen. And I'm not totally against what he's saying. I'm going to be open for anything with Fred as far as his role. Whatever is best for the team to win championships, he will do it. And that even means taking a back seat. If he has to, he will. He's already said he will. It may hurt his pride, but he will do it. And he'll do it correctly. Trust me, he will. David's saying, yep. He's just agreeing. Short answers. He's agreeing with you guys. This stuff about Fred and his contract. Let's keep going. Space Cadet saying the real question is who else can they find as a starting point guard who understands all the systems, and how many true pass first point guards are there? There aren't many. Don't think Scotty is ready for full-time starting point guard. I agree with that last part. I don't think Scotty is either. He still has to figure some stuff out, but this could be the wave of the future. He may not be a bad option at this, or it could very well be that we don't play a point guard and we just have this two-headed point forward sharing the ball between Scotty and Pascal. in some ways right now, our point guard, the most like a point guard on our team is Pascal Siakam. His assist totals are the highest of anybody on the team. In fact, he's leading our team in assists, I believe, right now. And you see him get like 8 or 9 assists very early and very fast. He is kind of the point guard, and it's running through him very much like the Bulls used to do things with Scottie Pippen. That it was very much Pippen was the focal point of distributing, and he had a lot of the assists. It wasn't John Paxson. It wasn't Michael Jordan. It was Scottie Pippen. And that's kind of the model we're running with is Pascal's a point forward, and he is leading our team in assists. So can we be like a non-traditional mindset and say, do we need really a small guy to run the point guard? I mean, we could have Malachi out there playing in the starting lineup, but he really is just there to shoot like John Paxson used to be on the championship Bulls. There's nothing wrong with that as long as the roles are getting filled, that there are people stepping up and taking care of the things that need to be done. Well, Pascal needs to do the assists for us until Scotty's fully capable to be the full point guard starting. That's fine. We got to, just have somebody pick up those jobs though, and so that they don't fall through the cracks. And if you don't have anybody doing that kind of stuff, it's kind of a problem. It really is. Jimmy Pope saying, anyone see Nick Nurse get pissed at Grange at the post-game interview? I haven't seen him like that before. Yeah, he was really pissed. And I like it. I really do like it. Some people may be turned off by Nick showing an edge like that. But this is what it shows to me. He really fucking cares. And he's pissed off about losing. He's sick of his players getting hurt and not being available. It's hard for him to do his job already. And that these problems are not making it any easier. And then, also, he's been getting a lot of stupid ass questions lately. He's been getting misquoted to himself. Like some lady the other day was saying, you were quoted as saying this about that Scotty has stunted growth this season. And he's like, look there. He's like, I never said that. So a lot of it is maybe the reporters are pissing him off because they're misquoting him. They're coming at him with stupid ass questions and he's setting them straight. Because some ways the reporters are trying to slant the narrative by the way they ask the questions. And they assume things in what they ask, like Scotty's slumping or that this is this way or this. And Nick's like, this is not the reality that I deal with in the real reality of being the coach and involved with these guys face to face. That y'all are making shit up. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And he's like, you see him like laugh and be like, okay, it's like a little laughable what you just said. Well, he's a little fed up with them. So you add that in with the frustration of the team just not being healthy for a couple months now, and you're seeing him being not so nice. And I love it. I love it. I want to see him drop a fuck you, Grange. Like all of a sudden, that would be so beautiful to me. It would be poetic, and he deserves it. At some point, we need to hear this. I don't know which one of them he'll blow up on at some point. Even Doug Smith, he's getting surly with at times. So I love it. You go, Nick Nurse. And if you have an attitude and you want to get pissed at one of them and just cuss them out real quick, oh, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Logical saying, bro, that's nonsense and clearly biased because no fair thinking person would say that understanding the money and salary part of the NBA, you're wild, top. And start off slant on Fred VanVleet saying that is proof. All right, Mike, all right, we don't want to go at each other, and we can respect that each other have different opinions. Now, he may think that Fred is overpaid, and that, that it's everybody has different opinions and stuff. I know that you are a big stand for him, and I am too. But in some ways, we do need to look at how much he's going to get paid for this and make sure it's the right number. And once again, we don't know as best as Bobby. Bobby's going to know the best. But yeah, I wouldn't go after top for that. I think it's a fair concern considering he's been hurt and his production is not the same as it's been when he was like an all-star last year or even in like years before. In some ways, he's having a lot of trouble this year. And that's fair to say. That is very fair to say. Lolita's saying Masai's prototype player is Siakam. Tall, lean, athletic, strong. Love that. Yeah. Yeah, Vision 6'9". That's why we don't have any centers or point guards. Mike's also saying VO2 max is the body's ability to create red blood cells, which carry oxygen to the muscles, and that's the fuel to keep muscles from fatiguing. Marathon runners, Tour de France winners have a high VO2 max. Okay, thanks for the information, Mike. I did not know what that term meant, and I'm glad you spelled it out for us. And that makes sense. Like, I'll bet Pascal has some crazy high-level VO2 max. that this man probably could be a marathon runner. Maybe he should go run the Boston Marathon and kill it. He probably beat everybody. He probably run forever and never get tired and probably could win the Boston Marathon. That'd be interesting to see if Pascal Siakam could do that and kick so much ass. Maybe he's only used to the short burst running and taking time to rest. Well, maybe he'd be so fast he could run the length of a basketball court like 5 times and then stop for a second. And they're all still behind him and then run again. I don't know, but I think he could win the Boston Marathon. You go, Pascal Siakam. Top saying Space Cadet agreed. Scotty isn't ready yet to be the full-time point guard. I'm not sure he should be, though, due to his defense. I can't think of a name, but a point guard that pushes the pace and gets us more easy baskets. Yeah, I mean, I think this is true. It's really weird that we do need kind of the typical center stuff and the typical point guard stuff right now. And maybe there are something we need to figure out with this, Bobby Webster. I don't know. We'll have to see if there's a trade made this season. What kind of player will be coming back to us? It will tell us what Bobby really does see as the biggest hole in our roster. And I do think there will be a trade this season. That even if we get things kind of going right, that there may still be something done, especially because of the situation with Gary. And I hate to say it, but it might be him. Lolita's saying at Mo, thanks for sharing news about Dalano. Shout out to Dalano. Good guy. Yeah, so proud of you, Dalano, our native son, Toronto's own Dalano Banton, giving back to the community. G saying pass first guards don't really work in this new modern NBA unless completely surrounded by dominant scorers. Defense lags off pass first guards, making guarding teammates easier. Well, then you got to have the right mix of being able to do it both. You got to be able to score and be able to pass and know the right balance of when and what. I wish it was more simpler times, like the days of John Stockton and Magic Johnson, where it's just basically you're that point guard role and you're setting everybody up, but you get yours here and there. It's really weird how muddled point guards are in the NBA now. A lot of teams have very interesting, weird point guard situations like us that aren't totally like the standard traditional thing that we're talking about, where you have one point guard designated and he just does the distribution. It's just not like that anymore. It's true. And G's right. It's like you have to be kind of like the Allen Iverson score first point guard in this league to survive at the highest level. Fun Guy saying was not mad at Clippers' loss at all, was rather impressed. They're built to win it all. Let's start a streak tonight, boys. And we're closer to 500. Schedule looking decent now. I love this positivity coming from Fun Guy out there in the Mississauga. Thank you, Fun Guy, for joining us again. And yeah, he's throwing up his hands. He's like, I don't understand. Why are you all upset about losing the Clippers? Yeah, I don't understand it either. It really was a strong overreaction. And this is part of the problem is that everybody sees 2 wins against the Knicks and the Cavs, and they just expect us, oh, we're back, and we're just going to keep winning. Well, there's going to be losses still here and there. I don't know. Fans are, man, we just need to find out who are the real fans, the pro fans, the ones that really know basketball, and the ones that are casuals. They're just making asinine opinions out of their ass half the time. You got to suss them out, figure out who the real ones that actually know what's going on and have an aptitude to understand this Clippers team is very good. And losing to them was no slouch. And that very much was a pretty good battle, but it did show a glaring weakness at center in that game for sure for us. Monique saying, not sure if you saw my last comment about fans say Nick Nurse is on the hot seat, but there's no better coach. Shaking my head on my Facebook. Should I reply? Yeah, I didn't see that comment, Monique, and I'm not sure why I didn't. But I agree with this. I have been seeing a lot of comments, good fans that really love the Raptors talking and questioning. Is this the time where we got to be like, no, Nick Nurse is not working out? I think that's crazy. That is such crazy talk. Once again, I say, what are the alternatives? Like, who out there is just magically going to step in and do better? Is it somebody from our bench already? Like, if they fired Nick Nurse and they put Earl Watson as the head coach, would that work? Well, Earl Watson thinks that Nick Nurse is the genius. So it's like, I don't know. I think that people need to tread lightly on this. You know, in some ways, fan bases can get coaches fired and run out of town if the overwhelming sentiment by the fan base is that they're not doing a good job. So tread lightly, Raptor fans. You may not really want what you think you want, and it may be a really bad decision. In fact, one of the known quantities that we know is capable and good at their job is Nick Nurse. It's very much like Masai Ujiri. And every single person you could bring in after him, there is so much of a room for failure and not being like totally like taken to right. Like people like Steve Clifford. You could bring in a replacement and it could be a whole worse disaster. So be careful what you wish for, Raptor fans. And I do not think that this is smart. I think that Nick Nurse is a great coach, and I would like him to stick around our team like Greg Popovich did for San Antonio Spurs, because I really do believe that he has that kind of longevity and that kind of innovation that he can continue to be on the cutting edge of the NBA and do very well, much like Popovich. So I am totally against anything like saying get rid of Nick Nurse. And people saying he's in the hot seat, fuck that. You're crazy. Don't do that, because you fired Nick Nurse. You may very much regret it later. Not to mention, we've said you get rid of Nick Nurse, boom, 5 other teams want him right away. And now we have to deal with him the other way, just like we deal with Casey. You want more Caseys, you idiots? No, we can't fire Nick, because we've seen what we've dealt with Detroit since Casey went there. He would just destroy us, especially if the coach isn't as good as him and he understands the players better than him. We would never win against that team ever again. And it could be real quick that the Boston Celtics have Nick Nurse as their coach. So get some sanity in your heads and think about what would happen if that kind of situation actually happened. This is a really bad situation. So value Nick Nurse and protect him, and stop talking about how he's on the hot seat, or maybe we need to look at maybe firing him. That's stupid folly logic. And I'm totally with Monique. Once again, her and I stand together on this subject. Do not fire Nick Nurse. That's a very stupid decision to make. Yeah. Logical saying, gee, facts. Scottie and Pascal push the pace in transition, and Fred VanVleet point guards in the half court to set up the offense, then works the ball to the best option off, which matchup is best. We don't need a ball dominant point guard. Yeah, I think that this is right. I think Mike is like describing the situation with our team and the point guard duties pretty accurately. That the full court transition, fast break is dominated by our forwards, while the half court setup is kind of directed by Fred. And this has worked to a degree. There's nothing wrong with doing this, and I think it's smart in a lot of ways. Tom Duke is getting out the food for the refs. He's got a screw. I think that's for Courtney Kirkland, a screw to eat because he's a android, as I put. Then he's got the can of maple syrup. Oh, Tom, I have a picture. I went to Saks Fifth Avenue underneath downtown where the Hudson's Bay used to be. They have a cafeteria, and they had a whole display of 100% Canadian maple syrup. And I took a picture of it in honor of you, Tom. I was like, this is the 100% maple syrup emporium. And I'm going to put that picture somewhere, and it'll be in your honor, Tom. The 100% maple syrup picture will be posted probably as one of the pictures for our stream one day at some point. I will put that stream that picture out there at some point. But I took a picture of a lot of syrup a couple of days ago. But also, he's got the pancakes, he's got the plates, he's got the maple syrup and the maple leaf. He's got the food for our third ref fantasy ransom with the shrimp and the chicken. The chick needs to be cooked. It can't be a chicken and an egg, though. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. What, he's just gonna eat it like it's a peep or something like that? That's dangerous. They can all eat and get lots of syrup. Go Raptors. All right. Thank you, Tom, for once again providing the food for the refs, even though we don't know if they deserve it or not. If we're going to see if they're going to be fair and down the line. All right. Here's my Italian lesson for today from Nameless. Dammi una vinta stasera. Give me a win tonight. That's what I said tonight. Let's go Raptors and win tonight. Dammi una vinta stasera. Yes, Italian lesson down today. Thank you, Nameless, for the Italian lesson. Daddy Gates is here. Good to see Daddy Gates. I would love to see Lex and Chev have a discussion on basketball. They both understand the game of basketball, what it is and how it works, unlike some others who will remain nameless. You don't mean Nameless, do you? He's giving me Italian lessons. I love Nameless. That would be fun to have a round table. Maybe a round table. We'll get Chris's Sports Corner in there too. A couple of Tallahassee guys who spent some time at TCC and come down there. And yeah, that would be fun. I'd love to do that. It'd be really interesting, I think. We could talk about Tallahassee just for fun. We'll reminisce about our time down there or something. I don't know. It'd be fun. Nameless, why are you retracting your statements? I think that was a good time. And I don't mean you. He didn't mean you. He just used his name there. Don't get hurt by that. I don't think Daddy Gates meant you. I think that you know your basketball. Come on. He's not saying it's you. Blackhawks laughing. Pascal Pippen. I mean, it is a very fair, accurate comparison. Pascal Siakam to Scottie Pippen. This is a player that could block shots, steals, do everything. Scottie Pippen. And Pascal is very much the similar kind of stat guy that does a lot of the similar things that Pippen did back in the day. So I think this is a very fair comparison. Logical saying the Project 6ix9ine has people confused. One set used it to say get rid of Fred, he doesn't fit. Then there's another set that use it to say Project 6ix9ine failed and blow it up, tank. Lack of understanding creates BS. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. That people don't totally understand it. In some ways, somebody described it this week as maybe a look that we bring in the game. We don't start the game in Project 6ix9ine, but it's something we turn on in the middle of the game for a strategic reason to try and take over. All of a sudden, all our guys are 6ix9ine out there, and that's kind of been the way we've used it in the last year. And I'd like to see that again. Like we start a small guard. If it's not Fred tonight, it'll be Malachi. And, Project 6ix9ine shows up in like the second quarter and boom, hopefully that has an impact on the defense. We got some police riding by. Let's see. Daddy Gates is saying just some names out there. Mo Bamba, Christian Wood, Cole Anthony, Colin Sexton. I like Mo Bamba, but I think that Orlando's really liking his fit with the other guys, like with Bol and stuff. Christian Wood, he's got some really good offense. But I don't know about his defense being that good. And also, he seems like he might be a problem culture-wise. Like he's caused problems on Dallas this season, like with complaining about not starting and just kind of being a headache at times. Like he is not totally fit in Dallas culture-wise, and he's kind of being a jerk. So I don't know if I want him just for that reason on our team. Now, the Cole Anthony is an interesting idea. That's somebody that it wouldn't be bad as far as, I don't know. I don't think he's much different from Fred, though. I think that Fred and him are pretty equal as far as like what they could give us. Colin Sexton's a little bit better, but once again, this is another thing where it's like he's kind of working in Utah right now, and I don't think he's actually available. Him or Mo Bamba are actually not available, I don't think. Let's see. Logical saying, fuck Fred VanVleet. Judge his game based on the NBA game he plays. Saying he shouldn't make more than $21 million is completely unlogical with just a salary spike, but understanding $21 million is low as fuck. Gary Trent Jr. gets 18. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is why nobody should judge the number and understand that it changes, it fluctuates, is going up. And it's not that we're going to be hurt by paying him an amount that you guys think is crazy too much. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew. Not worried that Clippers was a winnable game. We are getting closer to rising up the ranks. Let's go. That's right. We're improving on how we lose, at least. And we're losing to good teams, but close, and keeping it close. Just a little bit of like not doing enough at the end, or different things happening in different games, like the Sacramento game, Brooklyn game recently. That it's just how it is. We're this close. And once we get all of our guys healthy, it clicks back in, we may start winning a lot. So we need to be ready for that. And good morning to you, Cool Cat. Always good to see you. Jody White is here. Good to see you, Jody. I hope you'll join us more often. 9:30 a.m. every day. Let's see. Jody is saying, wonder if Dylan Brooks will be saying this is my house like last year. Do you think Raptors would be a good fit for him? Because it doesn't look like he'll re-sign in Memphis as of now. Wow, I didn't realize that. I thought he really liked playing for the Grizzlies and that he was fitting real well. Yeah, I remember that game last year where he said it was his house. Well, he's from the Toronto area. He's Canadian. And in some ways, it's really special for him to come here and play at Scotiabank Arena. And he was the best player in that game. And I couldn't say anything about it. I couldn't diss him or say it's not his house, because he did earn the house last time. I don't want that to happen again. It's funny because like Chris was talking about his friendship with him, because they went to Oregon together. Chris Boucher and Dylan Brooks are best friends. And in fact, Dylan Brooks, I think, has been over at his house, he said, in the last couple of days, because they had a day off, and Dylan came over and just hung out with Chris for a bit. And the reporter asked, do you guys talk trash? And he says, no, we don't talk trash at all anymore. Not in like real life when they're just hanging out. They're just friends. There may be some trash talk on the court. But Chris also said that we're different roles on our teams, and they don't really kind of like go versus each other. So there's no reason for them to talk trash outside the game. And maybe they just make it so it's like, they're just friends and they enjoy being around and catching up instead of like having a friendly rivalry and talking shit. So I like that. That shows another side of Dylan that we don't always see, because he is a very hard-edged dude that's very like, he can be very like annoying and very aggressive and very kind of like, yeah, I'm coming to beat your ass. But he doesn't treat the friendship with Chris privately like that at all. They're very much just hanging out. Slim Duck and Swole Duck are still good friends. So there's no issues there. And that's kind of good in a way. And that doesn't hurt if we do down the road get the opportunity to possibly get him on our team. That I wouldn't be against getting Dylan Brooks, because he's from Toronto. He's a Canadian. Again, I love having as many Canadians on our team as possible. He's got a working relationship with Nick Nurse already from Team Canada. So he's totally got a green light to come to our team in the future if it works out that way. But I think he's actually pretty happy in Memphis. I think that he is kind of like the culture and swagger leader of that team, and that in some ways they really do value him very much. So I don't know. I don't know about him leaving. I haven't heard that, Jody. That's interesting. You don't think he'll re-sign with Memphis as of now? Interesting stuff. We don't want him to be saying it's my house again tonight. We definitely don't want that. So Raptors, remember that from last year and how that sucked, and don't let Dylan be able to say that tonight. If anything, let Ja say it, and because Ja just did some crazy supernatural levitation going towards the basket instead. But not Dylan. We don't want Dylan saying it again, because then it'll double down on he owns our house. And I don't want that. Monique's saying, always giving you all the reminder, go vote for our All-Stars. If you haven't already, a couple more weeks to go. Go Raptors. Always a good stream, Lex. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you reminding us all to make our daily All-Star vote. Get your Raptors voted in to that All-Star game. Those triple vote days are very important. Realize when those triple vote days are, when your vote will count 3 times, and get those votes in for sure. I've been very diligent this week in voting for the All-Star every single day this week. And it has a countdown. It'll tell you, oh, you last voted in 24 hours, and it'll tell you exactly when you can vote again. But thank you, Monique, for keep on pushing this every single day while we can still vote. And I appreciate your reminder. Lolita's saying, Fairweather fans, I don't listen to them. Doc Nurse is an amazing coach. Like his decision at player minutes or not, win or lose, you know that he based his decisions on winning the game. Yeah, there's just too much working with Nick Nurse in charge than isn't working. It's like his culture is really good. He has this trust in his coaching staff and his players and the organization and the management. Even through really bad times recently, none of that got tarnished. It's still there. They all are very much bought into his vision of what he's doing. His dedication and what he wants to do with the Raptors is cutthroat and crazy. That's why he's so emotional and angry in the interview yesterday, is that he does really fucking care. And he really takes this is the most important thing to him, is figuring out the best possible way to help the Raptors win over and over again. How can you not like any of all that? And that you bring in somebody new, all of that has to be reestablished. The trust between the players and the coach has to be reestablished all over again. The trust in this way, the culture of that coach has to come in and be installed. There's so many different ways it can go wrong. So when you have things going mostly right, and maybe you have just little tiny gripes with him. Oh, he overplays the starters. Oh, he's benching these guys and it doesn't seem fair. Well, he's doing everything else pretty good otherwise. And I think that that we need to keep a whole entire picture instead of that one little blemish that you really just point out that you don't like about Nick Nurse. Realize everything else that he's doing so correctly and right, and realize we're really lucky to have him, because these other teams don't have all those aspects running all at once. You think all the players on the Hornets completely trust and believe in Steve Clifford? Yeah, I'm going to continue to bring him up because he's a really good example of how bad you could be with your coach. It could be really bad. Let's see. All right, keeping on going with the comments. Mike is saying, just be fair to all the players, not just the ones you stand and think have more. Not going to lie, Masai, Bobby, and Nick know more than anyone because they have all the info and context. They know what's what and no money. Yeah. Yeah, that's once again, I'm just a dude on YouTube, and I don't know more than Bobby or Masai. I don't know more than Nick. I'm not even going to act like I do. I'm just going to watch and react and enjoy being a Raptor fan and having a team to root for in the NBA. I have gratitude in that way. That Toronto has an NBA franchise and that we get to be fans of it, watch them on TV, enjoy and entertained by them. We can't get it twisted. Everybody wants to be their own GM and coach in their own head. Well, get out of that power play kind of mindset and just allow things to be as they are and accept them for what they are and just be a fan that way. Some people don't realize you're the one sitting there with the popcorn. You're not the one out there pointing and yelling at the refs. You're not the one in the front office with the big board on the wall that has all the players in the league and seeing the whole landscape of the league and figuring out what's the best thing for the team franchise-wise with personnel on who should be where and how much they get paid and stuff. This is all stuff that they know because it's their jobs and they know it way more intricately and with the proprietary knowledge that the secret that we don't know. So we don't have all the answers or all the information like they do. And that's why we have to trust in Masai, trust in Bobby, and trust in Nick Nurse. Yep, Mike is right. Cool Cat's saying, no, we don't fire Nick Nurse. I think our next coach is Earl Watson if Nick Nurse decides to move on. 3 point guards, Fred VanVleet, Pascal, Scotty, all offer different perspectives. W tonight. I love it. I love it. Cool Cat. I love everything you're saying there. And, listen, if something does happen with Nick, which God forbid, knock on wood, I think that Earl Watson would be the next guy in line. I think that that's pretty accurate. But once again, I think that Nick Nurse is going to be like Popovich, and he's going to just have a coaching tree that branches off and goes to other teams, and he stays here. Because look, do you want something like Greg Popovich has built in San Antonio here, Raptor fans? Do you want Nick Nurse to be coaching our team into his 60s and possibly his 70s? I would love that. Trust me, I would love that because that kind of continuity and culture is really good. And once again, he's that kind of guy that will change with the times. He's not rigid and static in what he believes. Basketball is just this. He will adapt and change with the game as it changes. And in fact, he has shown he is the trendsetter in a lot of ways with things like positionless basketball, the box and one in the finals against the Golden State Warriors. He has balls and guts to do things and be innovative. And he is the kind of guy that gets copycatted by the rest of the league. And don't you want to be the guy who's the trendsetter, the guy who's the innovative one that takes the original idea and puts it and has the guts to put it in there and finds all the initial success from that idea coming out? Yeah. So we got to understand how much he is such a good coach and forget about some of these little nitpicky things that we're upset with him about right now. Daddy Gates is saying, Florida guys. Yeah, we're all Florida guys. We all have a connection to Tallahassee, Florida. NBA Chev went to Tallahassee Community College, and Chris's Sports Corner also lived in Tallahassee at some point, and I grew up in Tallahassee. So we're all Tallahassee guys. This may be the common factor in why we do what we do is Tallahassee's a weird place that has a lot of very talented people in entertainment. They have one of the best film schools in the nation at Florida State. Jim Morrison went to Florida State of the Doors. And I actually partied in a house that he used to live in at FSU. When I lived there in college, we would go to the Jim Morrison house and have parties in it. It was so fun. And yeah, there's all kinds of interesting things about Tallahassee and Florida State and where it is in the state of Florida. And there's just a lot of Burt Reynolds was a big part of our school. He played football for the football team, and he became a good alumni who had his own show, the Burt Reynolds Show, that was all about FSU football with Bobby Bowden for many years. It's an interesting place where you can get some very interesting broadcasting talent from Tallahassee, and we're just another extension of it. Chris and Chev and I. But it'd be fun to see us Florida boys get together and reminisce about the capital of Florida, Tallahassee, because we all lived there at different times. Blackhawk saying, I don't care what MLSE pays the players. It's their money, and they put out a good product. We just need healthy players. Exactly. This is the correct attitude. Some people are going to put it in the context of their own regular life. Well, this is a weird other place. It's almost cartoonish how it's in this world with the way the world is for everybody. And it's kind of sad in some ways, but also look, don't hate them because they made them lives. They worked so hard to become the players that they are. And to get that money is part of the best part of what they're doing. And it's so hard, so much pressure, so much time, so much sacrifice that these guys go through. People have brought this up recently with how people talk these guys down and they don't understand. CJ Miles himself, you say, you don't understand how much it goes into to become an NBA player and be a pro, to put that much time and dedication and all the work you do to get there. Then this money may have been earned from decades ago, from all the hard time that they put in out in the middle of the snow outside, shooting hoops when nobody else was, and putting in that work. That was when they were earning those dollars that go into like a $20 million contract and stuff like that. So I'm with you, Blackhawk, and that's exactly the attitude I have. I don't care how much they're paying him. They make market price, and that's what they want to pay him. I don't get upset about that. I'm not a hater like that. Alistair's saying, would you have traded Barnes for KD? No, I wouldn't have. I mean, even so, some ways it looks like it would have been a good idea because the way this year's going. I still wouldn't do it because it's mortgaging our future in some ways for a short term that isn't guaranteed. And in some ways, it just wasn't lining up. Like Aaron Rose has said to everybody, he told them on Twitter, Aaron Rose, who covers the Raptors for Sports Illustrated, he said, listen, y'all, the deal was never Kevin Durant for Scottie Barnes. The money doesn't line up. Scotty's on a rookie contract and Kevin makes like 30 something million. You'd have to add so many more players into the deal to make the money line up that it's just not worth putting Scotty in that package. And that's part of the reason why this was never realistically actually a deal. It's just some bullshit that was made up because the Nets fans really want Scotty. And that maybe the Nets management was like investigating whether they could get Scotty for Kevin and what it would take, but it realistically just didn't make any sense with the money and how much we would have to send back money wise. It'd have to be Scotty plus OG and Gary for the money to match up almost. So it's like we wouldn't send 3 guys for Kevin like that. So the deal was never Barnes straight up for Kevin Durant. That was never ever a deal that was viable or possible or ever realistic. And that any fan that thinks, oh, we gave up on that deal is stupid, because honestly, the deal was way worse than that for us. And it's very, very good that Masai said, no, Scotty is not coming to the Nets in any kind of deal for Kevin. He was never on the table involved in all this. And it's really because it didn't make any sense for us. We've got him on a deal. This is rookie contract. It's very cheap. So why would we do that? That's the most stupid kind of strategy. So either way, it was never realistic and was never going to happen. And everybody who says, oh, we should have traded Scotty for Kevin, they're idiots, because it was never actually a real thing that could have happened. Let's see. Laugh out loud. Great Italian Lex. You're almost fluent. Awesome, Nameless. I love it. I love Bellissimo. Yes. All right. Mo's saying, I love Mo Bamba. Always wanted him, as you know, too. Well, Lex, that's right. Monique has talked about Mo Bamba for many years. In fact, maybe because they're namesakes, Mo Bamba, Mo Lawrence. I know I've loved Mo Bamba being on this team also. We talked about him this summer, possibly being on the Raptors. And it is a really great fit. And in fact, he may be more of a center in the way that we need him to be against guys like Zubac. And that may have been a really good acquisition. But like I said, I think that Orlando really likes having him and that he's a really good part of their young core right now. So Country Kong's saying, we need to fight. Let's get Killian Hayes. No, I don't want that knucklehead. Honestly, I really don't. That was really dumb, honestly, what he did last night. And he's going to pay for it financially, and he's going to miss a bunch of games. It's not that Detroit's doing anything. They're still at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, but it didn't help anything. Trust me. It didn't help with anything. It didn't help with like the black eye that Detroit has from the Pacers melee from way back. And the bringing back the memories of that, yeah, not a good look, Killian Hayes. You need to understand that Ron Artest and what happened with that like 15 years ago or something like that. Yeah, they don't want a repeat of any of that kind of stuff. And you need to be a little more smart and understand the context. You play for the Pistons, and there is a thing called the malice in the palace. You don't need to be throwing hands. Trust me, you do not. Just don't do it. Not in that building. That's not the right building to do it. Not at all. G saying the roster needs work. For me, blaming the coach or 1 or 2 players makes no sense right now. No proper center and needs some shooters. Let's let the front office do their work and let players develop. Yeah, I agree with this. G's got a good perspective on this, and it's true. We just want to play the blame game. Don't fucking play the blame game. Just go ahead and just let them be who they are and trust. and let them do what they're going to do. It's going to be hard. It's like sometimes when you're doing a hard task and somebody's kind of watching over your back while you're doing it, and it's like you see them watching you, and it's kind of making you more nervous. It's almost like, would you just go away or get off my back and let me just do this? I'll get it right. All right. You partly messing up because you're just so on my ass about it. It's that kind of thing. It's like, can we just give them some breathing room and let them try and figure this stuff out without the fan nation being all over them for stupid shit? Because this is kind of how we should look at it. It's like, let's take a step back, let the team figure it out and give them a chance. Let's see. Logical saying, gee, exactly. Facts. Win as a team, lose as a team. It's real. That's right. We're all for one, one for all. Ride or die with the Raptors, win or lose. 100% agree, G. I feel like G's stalkers out there liking and commenting all of his proper takes. You feel like his stalker. You're not a stalker. You guys are friends. You guys have been trivia combatants over the last year, and you guys are buddies. You've known each other for a year now. There's nothing stalkerish about what you're doing, Tom, dude. You can stalker all my stuff and like everything wherever I'm at. That's fine. No, I'm just kidding. You don't do that either. We're just good buddies. We're all friends here. G saying, Tom and Logical, the feeling is mutual. All right, see, he's a stalker towards y'all too, to a degree. Cool Cat saying, I vote every day for All-Star, voting since December 20th. Awesome. You go, Cool Cat, a good Raptor freak. Keep doing it every day. Monique saying, good to see so many viewers watching the live stream grow, Lex. Awesome. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate you enjoying the stream and more people coming. Alistair saying, not gonna lie, KD a better fit than Barnes. That may be true right now, but that may not be true in like 2 or 3 years. It's a lot of it is Barnes has got growing pains right now. Kevin's just so refined and just such a master of his craft. Such a long NBA career, 16 years, and that he's been doing this for so long. Of course, he's going to look better than Barnes. Give him some time. Like I said, I don't want to mortgage the future and many, many years, like another decade or so of great years with Scotty for just a couple years of Kevin right now. In some ways, that's not good logic for growing for over time. Let's see. Rick Glosser said, I grew up in the mob. Awesome, man. Well, be careful. I did a little work for the Yakuza. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it on here, but in the early 2000s, I had an associate that was an associate of theirs, and I did some things to help them out, but it was all driving related, just so you know. I'm a very good driver. I'm a professional driver, in fact. I've driven all kinds of different jobs for different companies like Domino's, DHL, but also a little bit more illicit driving jobs also. And nothing where anybody got hurt. But yeah, I was a little bit involved in like Japanese mafia. It's just really weird stories about Lex that you find out over time with me. But you go, Rick, and I'm your friend. I have nothing to do with you, Paisan. You're my buddy, and I hope everything's good with you. Raptor Freak, Rick Glazer, thank you for being here this morning. Hopefully my Italian was pretty good. Logical saying, G coming with the truth and wanting to say the truth. Truth seeking tend to be more and more, get more right based on looking for the correct things that matter and caring about being right versus agreeing with. KD makes 35% max, aka super max, so like 46 million, same as Braun. I think Spicy makes 28% max at 33 million. There's levels to maxes, and Spicy is a bargain still. Yeah. Yeah, there's nobody on our team that's way overpaid. And some people may look at Spicy P or Fred's contract, and they, like Mike said, these are bargains for these guys, considering what we're getting comparable to other guys in the league that are getting salaries that may be a little bit more. You can look at somebody like Tobias Harris and be like, okay, yeah, we're getting value for what we're paying our guys. When you look at a contract like Tobias Harris. So, it's all within perspective of looking at like, look, this is a deal for Fred, 20 million and Gary's only making 18. That is not that bad. So we'll figure it out. Trust in Bobby. He's going to make the right decision. Monique saying, did you see the Scotty Axe ad? Just a fun and funny commercial. I have not seen the Scotty ad yet for Axe. I've seen his Spolway stuff, obviously, and I've also seen obviously the stuff for Gillette for OG and Fred, Team Smooth versus Team Beard or whatever. But no, I haven't seen the new Scotty Axe ad. I'll have to check that out. G saying, Mo, that Scotty Axe ad was so endearing and funny. All right, I'm gonna have to find it after this. All right, guys, let's do the real mascot matchup. The last time we saw the mascot, he had beaten Cavalier nurse and had gotten out of the house. He hit her in the face with a frying pan, and he was running towards a boat. There's a sailboat in the water, and he wants to get in the boat and get going. but he doesn't really know how to run a sailboat. Like you have to run the rigging and get the boat to like catch the wind, and so it will go. Because I don't think this boat has an engine. It really is like it has a little outboard engine, but it's very slow, and he's trying to escape them. And he needs to get out of there. Well, he doesn't know how to use the boat. The boat is ineffective for him. He cannot use this Clipper sailboat to get away. So he's kind of standing on the boat still, but then he notices something coming from down the beach, and it's really weird. It's kind of big and black, and he's like, "What is that?" It's like that looks weird. It's kind of like going in the water and kind of like grabbing for fish. Is that what I think that is? It looks down there. It's like, listen, what is that down there? And it's like, wait, hang on. You know what that is down there, Justin? You're always down by the water. You know what that is, probably what he sees, don't you? Yeah, he knows. He's dealt with it before. You've had to worry about these before, haven't you? Are you scared of it? It's a bear, isn't it? A big grizzly bear down in the water. You all right, you can go. Thank you. Yeah, it's a big grizzly bear down in the water, but it's kind of ambling down the coast, and maybe it'll see the raptor in the boat and be like, yummy. We'll have to find out next time on the Real Mascot Matchup. What is this? What's going to happen? There's a very dangerous grizzly bear nearby, and he's on this boat, so he's kind of like out in the water, and he can't kind of just run any direction. He's got to come out, and the bear's kind of in between him in some ways. What will happen next time on the Real Mascot Matchup? Will the raptor get by this grizzly bear that's lurking nearby him right now? Is very, very, very dangerous. You'll find out next time on the Real Mascot Matchup. There you go. All right. Nameless said, which mob was that, Rick? The mob doesn't exist. Yeah, see, Nameless has some family or participatory in mafioso stuff also. We're starting to become a true crime like Discovery ID channel here. It's all good. Monique's got the 5 Raptor lineup. I love it. Here's okay. Tom, you want a live reaction? Let me do a live reaction to Scotty's ad since Tom's given me the clip. All right, just unlock my fresh with new. Okay, this is Scotty's Twitter. All right, hang on. Oh, I have seen this commercial. I recognize the guy he's sitting next to. I got the audio on. Let me see. Oh, they're playing video games. He's got an axe. He's spraying himself. Blue flame. Get out the way. It won! Oh, ah! Unlock your fresh. Okay. That's cool. All right. So this is a continuation of the series of Axe flavors that they've come out with over the last few years with the Raptors. Each Raptor gets their own like flavor of like Fred had the cool he had something early on. He had like a blue one. And then OG had the skateboards and roses. And now Scotty's got cool ocean. So he's got an axe scent now himself, and they've done this for a couple guys now, OG and Fred, and now Scotty. I love that video game art, the animation of him in it, and him mimicking the same move in real life. I love the whole thing of him yelling his signature stuff that he yells like "and one" and "get out of my way." This is very much stuff he would say when he played the video games this summer on Twitch. This is exactly the setting. Like he's sitting there playing the video game with the guy, and that's exactly how he would be on Twitch when he's playing the game. He would say those same things. So it's very cool, very natural, and I like the mesh up of the animation with the real life with it. Great commercial, and good to see Scotty's got his accent now. Cool Ocean is going to be his axe scent. And listen, I was like one of these people that thought Axe is such a cheesy brand. Like these are like what bros and like kind of the whole knock Axe gets with the Axe body spray over the years and stuff. But I actually did switch to Axe because of the Raptors or organization being advertised with them. I started using Axe as my body wash mainly because the Raptors is. So this is effective advertising by Axe using the Raptors because they got a Raptor freak like me to use their product. And it has nothing to do with all the old bro stuff about Axe that everybody says. It really is because it's the Raptors endorsing it. And I found that the product's not bad. So I'll have to go get the new Cool Ocean and try it out. Maybe I'll do a product review on the new scent. Will say about the Skateboards and Roses flavor that came out for OG a couple years ago. It's not that good. It's weird. And there was also Fred's was cookies and sneakers. It was like Oreo cookies and sneakers smell was what Fred's flavor was. It was really weird. Cookies and sneakers. And that doesn't sound appealing in some ways. It's like, what? The sneakers smell, right? Don't they? No, they're new sneaker smell, not like old moldy sneakers you've been wearing for a couple years playing ball. So sneakers and cookies, skateboards and roses, and now we got Cool Ocean for Scotties. And I'll have to go get it and see what it's all about. Cool stuff. And one. Let's go, Big Four. I love it. Okay, and Rick's got some Italian for me, some more. Rick Cosa Fe nel Clan. I'm probably asking what mafia he's in, which I'm asking there. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let me do a wrap up. We're right at 2 hours. Real quick, the injuries once again for tonight are Precious, Christian, and Fred VanVleet are all questionable for tonight. It's nice to see Precious at the same level of injury report as two guys that were just playing. Really does mean he is close. If he plays tonight, that would be so great. It would be really nice. I'd love it if we had one of those guys tonight. If I don't want all three of them sitting. If Christian can play tonight, or Fred can play, or Precious, at least one of them playing tonight would be great. Now, as far as with 905, since 905 is playing in Iowa tonight, they've sent Delano Banton and Ron Harper Jr. to Iowa to play for the 905. Meanwhile, Justin Champagnie and Jeff Doughton Jr. are still here in Toronto to be available for the Raptors against the Grizzlies tonight. That's just a quick note. That, to me, makes it seem like Fred won't play tonight, and that it'll be Malachi starting with Jeff Doughton filling in for Malachi's minutes tonight on the main roster. The other side of the ball, the only Grizzly that's hurt and out right now is our NBA champion 2019, Danny Green. Danny Green is not available for the game tonight. He's the only one listed for the Grizzlies. Otherwise, they're very, very healthy. In fact, Danny Green hasn't played at all this season, so it's not like they're really missing a whole lot. The referees for tonight, first of all, in Iowa, we've got Angel Kent is the crew chief, Charles Watson is the referee, and Biniam Maru is the umpire. Meanwhile, here in Toronto, our crew chief is Courtney Kirkland. Not my favorite ref. One of the worst refs, veteran refs for the Raptors to have is Courtney Kirkland. Then Michael Smith, the very, very, very grizzled old veteran from Memphis, born in Memphis, still lives in Memphis. Michael Smith is one of the longest standing refs in the league right now, over 30 years refereeing. And then Fenezi Ransom is our third ref. He may be the most nice to the Raptors as far as the ref crew tonight. Keys to the victory. Listen, this is the Grizzlies. We got to contain Ja Morant as best as we can. We got to look out for their three-point shooters. We got to win the battle of the boards. We got to play locked-in defense for most of the game. We cannot get into a Western Conference scoring battle with them. We need to make it an Eastern Conference kind of game, low scoring, very hard to get any baskets. It may look ugly. It may look very physical. It may look very like low scoring and not totally the most exciting to watch, but that will favor the referees if we can get that kind of game going tonight instead of getting a scoring race with the Grizzlies like we had to with the Clippers the other night. That is not the formula to win. We need to very much shut their water off as much as we can with the OG Plumbing Company and just cut that water off. Get that pipe in there and wrench it and tighten and get that water turned off tonight, OG Anunoby. You go out there and lead our defense against the Grizzlies and really limit their scoring. If we can make their shooting percentage really low and really get on the boards and get a lot of rebounds, this can help us win. It's going to be a tall order game between the two games. Tomorrow night, when we play the Suns, they're a little bit weakened, and we have a better chance, I think, against the Suns than we do tonight. But we can win tonight also. And I really do want us to beat the Grizzlies tonight. We cannot let Dylan Brooks take over and say this is his house again this year, like he did last year. That was fucking bullshit, and I don't want to see that again. So Raptors, have some pride. Remember last year when they came here and they took over our house, and remember how that was bullshit, and never, ever let it happen again, especially today. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. Mike saying, W stream. I hope no one has hard feelings about basketball takes I have. Connections and debates are only Corrections and debates are only based in basketball, and I respect people as good people, even though we disagree. No, this is fine. I don't think anything was out of pocket. Listen, we can agree to disagree on certain subjects, but at least we're getting an intelligent discourse and talking about the subjects in a way that's a little more productive and positive than general Raptors social media spaces where people are just kind of being stupid in what they're saying. At least we're talking it out logically, like your name. And really, I don't think that you did anything to piss anybody off. And I think that we can all understand when we have just mature difference of opinion, and then it's nothing more than that. And there are going to be differences on all kinds of things. Giovanni has his takes on things. Nameless has his takes. G has his takes. Lolita has her takes. Monique. We all have different opinions, but we kind of figure things out and come to general consensus to a degree also. But I really like everybody having their own voice and being able to express it freely here. That's important. And even if like it's a fan from another team, they come in here and they just start acting like a jackass. Well, that's fun too, because we get to put them in their place. All right, let's go. Oh, Monique's saying there's another new Axe video out also. Okay, there's another one out. Okay, I'll have to find that one too. That's the old clip that Tom had. Because I had seen that one because I recognized the kid was sitting with Scotty. I've seen that ad before, so there's another one. It's all right, Tom. Don't worry about it. You gave me a good video to react to anyway. I'll go find the other one, new one too. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining me today. I hope the Raptors win tonight. Let's just go, Raptors. Play with a good effort. A full 48 minutes. Next man up mentality, depending on our injuries. Get out there, Malachi, and prove something if you get to start tonight. I'd love to see you drop like almost 40 points. Just like bombing. Malachi Flynn, you are an offensive juggernaut, and you need to just unlock that and show everybody just how badass you are with scoring and be like one of our best scoring leaders tonight. I want to see that. Mike saying the Lakers salary hits are Braun at 46 million, Russ at 46 million, and AD at 43. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. That gives you some perspective on as far as like salary caps, the NBA, and that we really aren't scratching the surface on what we could pay our guys if we decided to go more into the luxury tax. Monique saying, I'm happy about the Devin Booker news. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, it's sad in some ways. We don't want to play a lesser team, but, it doesn't hurt. It does help our chances to win that game tomorrow night. And that's part of the reason why I think we have a good chance. The Suns are reeling a bit right now. They've lost a few games in a row, and they may be ripe for the picking tomorrow. All right, guys, enjoy your day today. Let's get out there and do things the right way to get ready for this game. Get that positive inertia, good vibes, good positive feelings around the city. If you're doing your job today, do it the Raptor way with quality and the best of your ability. And hopefully that kind of shine will rub off, and the same thing will happen for the players tonight. They'll come out and do their best also. Blackhawks saying, Logical Raptor Freaks, you ain't hurt nobody. You're all right. All right, see you. There you go. You're all right, Mike. Don't worry about it. You're with your peeps, man. You're just with your peeps. And listen, like I said, we can agree to disagree if it's really that bad. But most of the time, we kind of figure it out within talking about it all. All right, y'all. Have a great day. And please like, comment, subscribe, share me a place. Put me on blast with Chev some more. Maybe I will get that round table with him someday. We can talk about Tallahassee, Florida. That'd be fun. Let's go Raptors, and let's win the Naismith Cup. We are the greatest Canadian team ever in the history of the NBA, and we want to show that still because we are. That Canadian team that lives in Tennessee now, yeah, we're still the better team the expansion year of 1995 that came into the NBA at the same time. You go Raptors. Let's beat the Grizz tonight. Woo, baby. Woo. Let's go.